Chapter 1780. People from outer heaven domain Qin Yun arrived at Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and felt a lot more at ease. My past life hid divine universe golden stone in this kind of place. It is indeed very safe. Qin Yun let out a sigh of relief. Xiao Yun, those guys from outer heaven domain have very high level of inscription, you must be careful. Ling Yun'er said. Qin Yun took out a magic mirror and said, Wait until the magic mirror is complete, I will immediately contact old Xiao and the others and tell them to be on guard. Even after a while, Qin Yun's eyes are still in pain. Even when he closed his eyes, tears flowed out of his eyes. He is resting inside the heaven leaping shuttle. While Qin Yun was resting, the golden devil horn shook and he hastily took it out. Evil God, what's the matter? Qin Yun asked. How big is your divine universe golden stone? Evil God's voice is filled with incomparable astonishment. Aren't you afraid of death? Goodbye. Qin Yun doesn't want to talk nonsense with Evil God. Wait! Evil God hastily shouted. Little ancestor, I was wrong. Qin Yun said with smile. What, divine desolate also knows? Evil God said. Everyone knows. Especially just now, it alarmed many powerful gods of divine desolate. Space God invited many gods to gather together. Evil God must have also gone. My divine universe golden stone is as big as a watermelon. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Have you seen a watermelon? What? As big as a watermelon? Little ancestor, I wish you peace, goodbye. Evil God screamed a few times in fright and then said goodbye to Qin Yun. Qin Yun laughed a few times and then stored away the golden devil horn. He deliberately lied to Evil God. Of course, even if he lied, Evil God would still say goodbye to him. His divine king heavenly seal suddenly vibrated. Immortal desolate sacred master is contacting him. Uncle, how big is your divine universe golden stone? Immortal desolate sacred master very straightforwardly said goodbye to Qin Yun before, but now he is so scared that he contacted Qin Yun. He only wants to know how big the divine universe golden stone is. I am in Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. This place is filled with dense fog. I can't see the situation in Immortal Desolate. Qin Yun said with smile. How is it? Anyway, I saw a few big holes. I think it won't be long before the sky is filled with holes. The sacred master of the Immortal Desolate said with a wry smile. Uncle Qin, it's very difficult for me to be the sacred master of the Immortal Desolate. I won't do it anymore, okay? As you wish. Qin Yun said with smile. The sacred lord of the Immortal Desolate region said that there were many holes in the sky. It was obvious that a powerful cultivation civilization from the outer heaven domain had crossed the heaven domain to come here. Just like the black vortex he had seen before, there was a powerful energy that opened a spatial door and teleported over. Sir, can you tell me how big your divine universe golden stone is? Immortal Desolate Sacred Master asked. Not very big, just a bit smaller than your dead head. Qin Yun said. What? The Sacred Master of Immortal Desolate was startled and shouted, Sir, I wish you eternal life. Goodbye. Qin Yun knew that a coward like the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master would be terrified. He looked at the black box inside the Nine Sun Divine Spirit and said with a smile, I think that box is also very powerful. It can actually trap such a large divine universe golden stone. That's right. Ling Yun'er said with smile. Xiao Yun, don't be afraid of those guys. You are now a ninth heaven immortal king and will soon become an immortal emperor. You are not weak in the Immortal Desolate. You don't need to be afraid of those bastards. Ling Yun'er is also worried that Qin Yun would not be able to bear the pressure and abandon the divine universe golden stone. Great Beauty Yun'er, don't worry. I will never abandon the divine universe golden stone. I have suffered a lot for this thing in my 3 lives, Qin Yun said with smile. I won't give up until I eat the divine universe golden stone. Wait for 10 days, then go find Yu Qing. Ling Yun'er said with charming smile. I hope this dragon lady won't trick you. Qin Yun's previous life entrusted Long Yu Qing with some matters. They must be very important. Because when he hid the heaven-leaping shuttle, Long Yu Qing was still inside the heavenly dragon god statue. It could be said that she was always together with Qin Yun. If Qin Yun had anything to say, he would definitely tell her. After resting for half a day, Qin Yun recovered. He walked out of the heaven-leaping shuttle and stored it. Then he carefully rushed through the forest. Boom, boom, boom. Waves of thunder continuously came from the forest. When I came in with Sister Shuyan, it was very quiet inside. After running for a while, Qin Yun can still hear continuous thunder. There must be some outer heaven domain bastards who recklessly flew inside the thunder mist or directly set up the teleportation point above the thunder mist. Ling Yun'er said with smile. In this case, they are dead for sure. Qin Yun ran around the thunder mist heavenly forest to set up teleportation points. His teleportation points are all inside the tree holes of some giant trees. His teleportation jade pendant can teleport inside the special space environment of the ancient garden, let alone inside the Thunder Mist Heavenly Forest. The space inside the Thunder Mist Heavenly Forest is the same as the space inside the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. They are both very sturdy and it is very difficult to seal or ripple them. Therefore, Qin Yun ran around randomly and set up many teleportation points. If he is being chased, he can teleport everywhere through those teleportation points, and it will be very difficult to catch him. While running, Qin Yun suddenly sensed something falling down and hastily dodged. Bang! A relatively large body suddenly fell down. It turned out to be a person with dark green skin. This guy. What kind of monster is he? Qin Yun sensed that the person is no longer breathing, so he walked over to take a look. The person is very tall, more than 2 meters tall. His skin is green, he has no hair and there is a very evil thing in the middle of his head. This is someone from the outer heaven domain? Qin Yun said in shock. Do people from the outer heaven domain look different from us? Those guys are sure that you are in the Thunder Mist Heavenly Forest. Ling Yun'er said with smile. They set the teleportation point inside the thunder mist. They were killed when they teleported here. Why is this guy so poor? He doesn't have anything. Qin Yun wanted to plunder something but he didn't find anything good. Boom! Just as he was plundering, a very violent energy suddenly shot down. Qin Yun hastily dodged. There was also a bottomless pit where he was just now. What is this thing? While Qin Yun is running, he saw a person who is completely burnt black chasing him. Outer Heaven Domain guy. This bastard was struck by lightning just now but he didn't die. Ling Yun'er said in shock. Qin Yun pinched the teleportation jade pendant and directly teleported. In the blink of an eye, he is far away from that place. This Thunder Mist Heavenly Forest will definitely gather all kinds of people from the Outer Heaven Domain. Qin Yun also opened his eyes. He finally saw some special people from the Outer Heaven Domain. Ling Yun'er said, Xiao Yun, quickly go to the depths of the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. Take a stroll inside and then teleport out. Qin Yun took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and directly pierced through space to the depths of the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. The 10,000 Snake Mountain Range belongs to the Sun Sacred Land. It is also a very unique space. Qin Yun is scurrying around in the sky above the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range, setting up all kinds of teleportation points. Because there are too many people chasing after him, he opened up a bigger area. Only by doing this will he be able to hide more flexibly. Qin Yun really didn't expect that after the Divine Universe Golden Stone entered the third space, the spatial ripples would spread so fast and the range would be so wide. Even now, the aftermath of the ripples have not dissipated. This allowed many Outer Heaven Domain powers to accurately locate him and chase after him. 2 days passed. Qin Yun is scurrying around in the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. At this time, his magic mirror suddenly shook. It's finally done. Qin Yun took out the square magic mirror and fiddled with it with a smile. Boss, you are too fierce. The commotion you caused is truly big. I will show you the situation of the immortal desolate. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror said with smile. Soon after, Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror sent many images to Qin Yun. Qin Yun browsed through the magic mirror and saw that there are many large and small black whirlpools in the sky of the immortal desolate. They are all caused by the opening of the spatial teleportation channel. They are all people from the outer heaven domain. Did they find the divine inscription mountain? Qin Yun said. No. They appeared at the same place where we were before. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror said. These guys are very strong, but our immortal desolates, immortal emperors are also not weak. There is no need to be afraid of them. Qin Yun said. Quickly inform the Guang Han Palace, Imperial Clan, Nether Sect, Holy Sun Ancient City, and other friendly powers about the Devil Mirror and let them use it. Oh, that's right, don't let them know that I made the Devil Mirror. You must do it as a disciple of Nether Sect. If they knew that the Devil Mirror is a toy of his inscription gate, it would cause many people to be vigilant. Alright, Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror said with smile. This time, the Devil Mirror's formation foundation will not be destroyed. The Devil Mirror's formation foundation is inside the Divine Inscription Mountain, and the Divine Inscription Mountain can teleport everywhere. Destroying it is indeed very difficult. Those who used to own the Devil Mirror can still use it now. Because the runes in the core of the Devil Mirror's formation foundation are still connected to the previous Devil Mirror. As a result, the news of the Devil Mirror being restored very quickly spread throughout the Immortal Desolate. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror also issued a statement saying that the reason why the Devil Mirror could not be used before was because the core formation foundation was destroyed by Devil Immortal Great Emperor and Immortal Great Emperor. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror can also be considered a member of Nether Sect. With the protection of Netherworld Great Emperor, he is not afraid of those two Immortal Desolate Great Emperors. Because the Devil Mirror has been restored, all kinds of news spread very quickly. Many people know about all kinds of astonishing things that happened during this period of time, especially about Divine Universe Golden Stone and Qin Yun. And these things are all spread by Qin Yun. Qin Yun contacted many old friends through the Devil Mirror. Outer Heaven Domain idiots, you want to steal my Divine Universe Golden Stone? Dream on. See how I will kill you. Qin Yun is now inside the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. He is sitting inside the bottle-gourd-like heaven-leaping shuttle and flying everywhere. After half a day of searching, Qin Yun finally contacted Long Yuqing. Long Yuqing found out that the Devil Mirror is such a good thing, she immediately went to use it. Her Devil Mirror's nickname is World's Most Beautiful Dragon Girl. World's Most Beautiful Dragon Girl, where are you? Qin Yun contacted Long Yuqing through the Devil Mirror. Brother Yun, I am helping you find something. Are you all right now? Long Yuqing said. I'm fine. Do you roughly know what you are looking for? Qin Yun asked. A very big pearl, as big as a person's head. They are as big as a human head. Long Yuqing said. There are a total of 6 of them. You seem to have told me that they contain heavenly runes. Qin Yun is immediately wild with joy. He is certain that they are dragon heavenly runes. Chapter 1781. Bustling Heavenly Forest. Qin Yun is very excited as he said, Yuqing, quickly find those pearls, they will be very useful to me. Long Yuqing said with smile, I am on my way. Rest assured, I will handle this matter very smoothly. Qin Yun cannot run around right now, otherwise he would have gone to find Long Yuqing. If he went to find Long Yuqing, Outer Heaven Domain people would catch up to him and they would not be able to find those heavenly runes. Although Qin Yun is just speculating, he feels that those pearls have dragon heavenly runes sealed inside them. He is not far from the truth. Yuqing, thank you very much. Qin Yun said with smile. Big brother Yun, why are you being so polite? After I give you those pearls, I will go find my mother. Long Yuqing said. Your mother is in Immortal Desolate Holy Palace. The boss of Immortal Desolate Holy Palace is my friend. I will ask him to take care of you. Qin Yun said. All right. Goodbye, be careful. Long Yuqing's mischievous voice arrived. Qin Yun is still somewhat worried about Long Yuqing. After all, she is a very naughty and mischievous dragon girl. She is even more naughty than Xiao Yueme. After all, she has been sealed inside the heavenly dragon god statue for a very long time. Now that she has obtained the statue, she is a heavenly dragon god. Her strength has greatly increased. She will surely behave atrociously everywhere. After Qin Yun and Long Yuqing's communication was cut off, his devil mirror vibrated again. Boss, I am He Shu. Me and Bai Zhe found 2 dragons. They both have dragon heavenly runes. He Shu said with smile. Boss, how big is your divine universe golden stone? Little black donkey's voice came from behind He Shu. Very big. Qin Yun said with smile. It has been hard on you. Can you bring those 2 dragons back to Divine Inscription Mountain to wait for me? No problem. They are all willing to return with us. They are very easy to talk to. Bai Zhe said. Isn't it because they have taken a fancy to divine dragon meat? I gave them a lot to eat. Little black donkey said. Qin Yun had previously taken out a very large divine dragon and placed it inside the Divine Inscription Mountain. Before the black donkey and company set off, they took quite a few with them. Great God Xianwu, I will have to trouble you to make a trip to Nether Sect and find Big Brother Azure Dragon. Tell him to wait for me in Divine Inscription Mountain for now. Qin Yun said with smile. Alright, but you have to give me something good to eat. The black donkey said. No problem. Qin Yun said. I have many darkness dragon corpses. I will roast some for you to eat later. Alright, I'll go look for Brother Green Dragon right now. The black donkey chuckled. I'm leaving. Qin Yun doesn't know if the 6 dragon heavenly runes Long Yuqing brought back will be the same as those heavenly rune beasts. If so, he will have to continue gathering other dragon heavenly runes. Now it's time to test my luck. Qin Yun said with smile. 2 good news came one after another, making him very excited. Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, if they don't overlap, how are you going to take them out? Qin Yun was taken aback. This was indeed a difficult problem. He spent a great deal of effort to take out Yi Yaoshue's mysterious fusion heavenly rune, but he could only record it in Gemini Treasure Mirror. Even now, he has no way to take out Yi Yaoshue's mysterious fusion heavenly rune. The mysterious fusion heavenly rune can only be stored in Gemini Treasure Mirror for now. Heavenly runes are 3-dimensional, it is very difficult to take them out. Qin Yun said with frown. Let's take one step at a time. First we will collect all 9 dragon heavenly runes, then we will think about how to take them out. Ling Yuner said with smile. Qin Yun nodded. I will quickly absorb the energy inside the Divine Universe golden stones to cultivate. Only like this can I become stronger. Outer Heaven Domain people's strength and equipment must be very strong. If you are at the same level, you will not be their match, let alone those immortal emperors. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun browsed through all kinds of information on the Devil Mirror and learned about the strength of many Outer Heaven Domain people. There are many images of Outer Heaven Domain people, they have all kinds of strange shapes and sizes, there are also many that look exactly like humans. Although Outer Heaven Domain people are very strong, they didn't cause any trouble in Immortal Desolate. After all, they came to Immortal Desolate to look for Divine Universe golden stones. They want to avoid unnecessary trouble. Immortal Desolate's overall strength is also very strong. If Imperial clans, Holy Sun Ancient City, and other major powers go all out, these Outer Heaven Domain people will suffer a lot. A great number of Outer Heaven Domain people are just the vanguard. If they still can't get divine universe golden stones, even more outer heaven domain people will come. Some outer heaven domain people have never heard of nine sun heavenly domain before. They are filled with curiosity after coming to Immortal Desolate. Later they found out that sun god crystals and divine mountains are very useful to them. As a result, the competition for resources in Immortal Desolate has become even more intense. Qin Yun looked at the Devil Mirror and said, "Many of these outer heaven domain people will die in Immortal Desolate. There aren't many sun god crystals in the first place, and it's something fought over by powerful immortal emperors. Aren't outer heavens people courting death by interfering? In order to compete with the outer heavens for resources, the local forces of the Immortal Desolate formed an alliance. For example, the Dharch clans took the lead. Many forces of various sizes had joined in, such as the Nether Sect, the Moon Palace, the Holy Sun Ancient City. The various races of the Ancient Era, the Dragon Race, the Inscription World, the four great Inscription aristocratic families, as well as many sects and aristocratic families in the Immortal Desolate. On the other side was the Darkness Royal Race and the Sun Soul Race. There was also the demonic Immortal Heavenly Gate, Xian Family, Totem Pavilion, Xieyang Race, and other evil factions. The two powerful forces in the Immortal Desolate also made the people of the outer heaven feel great pressure. There were too many forces in the outer heaven domain, so they couldn't unite together. Therefore, they had to be careful when facing the two forces from the Immortal Desolate. Qin Yun roamed the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range in the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Those from the outer heavens had locked onto the location of the Divine Universe Golden Stone. It was in the Myriad Snake Mountain Range. While wandering around, Qin Yun browsed through the magic mirror and obtained an astonishing piece of information. 6 altars of the sun appeared in Tianzhou at the same time. 6 sun altars gathered in one area. It is unknown what they are doing. These sun altars are actually moving. They are gathering in Tianzhou. Could it be that they want to teleport some powerful fellows down? Qin Yun is somewhat worried. The sun altars belong to the 9 sun sects. Evil God previously told Qin Yun that the news of him possessing the Divine Universe Golden Stone has already reached the Divine Desolate. All the great factions in the Divine Desolate must also want the Divine Universe Golden Stone. The 9 sun sects should have joined the Divine Desolate's Emperor clans. Why are they here to join in the fun? Are they looking to tear it down? Qin Yun suddenly felt an itch in his hands. If those sun altars were targeting him, then he would have to formulate a plan to tear down the altars. The 10,000 Snake Mountain Range is filled with death aura. There are all kinds of desolate mountains everywhere. With a glance, it seems like a desolate and uninhabited place. However, there are all kinds of big and small flying magic tools of all shapes and sizes flying here. From time to time, flying ships can be seen. Through the information gathered by the magic mirror, Qin Yun found out that some people from the outer heaven domain died in the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. It can be seen that the people from the outer heaven domain are unable to guard against the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest's heavenly lightning. It is not convenient for Qin Yun to contact Star God or Evil God. With more and more people chasing after him, he doesn't dare to relax. Aren't the people from the outer heaven domain having too many tools? Qin Yun cursed in his heart. Because the flying magic tools of the people from the outer heaven domain are closely chasing after him and can accurately sense his location. This is mainly to track the fluctuations released by the Divine Universe Golden Stone. Qin Yun wandered around the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range for more than half a day and successfully attracted many people from the outer heaven domain. Then he controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and directly teleported to the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. Want to capture me? It's not that easy. Qin Yun mischievously laughed in his heart. The trees inside the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest are very large and very sturdy. They are protected by the thunder fog in the sky. The gap between the trees is not very big. It is very difficult for those large flying magic tools to fly inside the forest. This way, it will be very difficult for them to chase after Qin Yun. And Qin Yun has the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. He can teleport inside the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. This Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest is simply a holy land. Qin Yun laughed in his heart. Just now, he saw a large ship flying in the sky was smashed to pieces by the heavenly lightning. Reckless guy, do you really think that just because the immortal desolate is very backward, you can do whatever you want? Qin Yun looked at the falling pieces and found it somewhat funny. In the eyes of the people from the outer heaven domain, the Nine-Sun heavenly domain is very backward. They all think that their flying magic tools are very powerful, so they dare to fly in the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. However, those who dared to do so would most likely die. In just 2 short days, the Magic Mirror has many news about the people from the Outer Heaven domain dying in the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. And the people from the Immortal Desolate are also heading to the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. They are not going to find Qin Yun, they are going to pick up trash. The people from the Outer Heaven domain crossed the Heaven domain to come here, their flying magic tools have been destroyed, the fragments have some value. Of course, there are also some people who came to find the corpses of the people from the Outer Heaven domain to study the energy inside their bodies. There are also some more powerful people who form teams to enter the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest to hunt the people from the Outer Heaven domain. As a result, the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest, which has been silent for many years, suddenly became very lively. More and more people from the Outer Heaven domain came, many of them are very strong. However, in these 2 to 3 days, Qin Yun still hasn't been caught. Instead, many people from the Outer Heaven domain died. The people of the Immortal Desolate also gradually understood that it is very difficult to catch Qin Yun. A person who has a great calamity stone is not easy to deal with. Brother Yun, I found the 6 pearls. How do we meet? Long Yuqing contacted Qin Yun through the magic mirror and asked, "Go to the Divine Inscription Mountain." Qin Yun told Long Yuqing to contact Xiao Hua, then he also notified Xiao Hua and asked him to meet Long Yuqing. Qin Yun is somewhat surprised that Long Yuqing found those heavenly runes so quickly. He also wants to return to the Divine Inscription Mountain, but if he does, it is very likely that the Divine Inscription Mountain will be besieged. He took out the magic mirror and contacted Xie Qiru. "Sister Qiru, where is your little flower?" Chapter 1782. Base teleportation. Qin Yun sent a message to Xie Qiru but did not receive any response. What is Sister Qiru busy with? Qin Yun waited for a while and can only contact Yu. Yu's strength is also very formidable. Furthermore, she has the sun-suppressing divine arrow. If she can escort the heavenly rune, Qin Yun will feel more at ease. Sister Yu, did anything happen on the moon? Qin Yun used the magic mirror to contact Yu. He is also worried that the Outer Heaven domain people would attack the moon. No, are you worried that those from Outer Heaven domains will come to cause trouble? Yu's beautiful face appeared on Qin Yun's magic mirror. She said with a smile, "We will kill as many as they come." Qin Yun felt a lot more at ease and said with a smile, "Sister Yu, I can't contact Sister Qiru. Are you free now? Can you do something for me? Speak." Yu's straightforward voice transmitted through the magic mirror. "Go find Sister Qiru first. If you can find her, we'll contact each other again. If you can't find it, then help me go to the Divine Inscription Mountain." Qin Yun said. "Alright." Yu immediately agreed. Qin Yun is currently patiently waiting for Yu's news. At the same time, he is also paying attention to the news on the magic mirror to understand the movements of those Outer Heaven domain people. Many people from the Outer Heaven domain rushed to the Immortal Desolate after confirming the direction of Qin Yun's location. Those Outer Heaven cultivators all arrived one after another, so in the past few days, There would be many spatial passages appearing in the sky from time to time. There were also people who chatted with outer heaven cultivators. They learned that outer heaven cultivators needed to consume large amounts of resources to teleport across heaven domains. Therefore, the people from outer heavens who were sent to the immortal desolate all brought a lot of powerful equipment and were extremely proficient in all aspects. It was also said that those super powerful outer heavens would open larger spatial passages to transport more people over. Because in the past few days, so many people have chased after Qin Yun without success. Therefore, the upper echelons of the outer heaven domains believe that in order to capture Qin Yun, they need to send more people, and it will take a long time. The strength of the outer heavens was mainly reflected in their equipment. In terms of strength, they were on par with the immortal desolate. The powerful dragon warriors of the immortal desolate and the immortal emperors who cultivated the saint's soul divine body made the people of outer heaven rather fearful. There were also ancient era experts. These ancient era experts had lived for many years and often absorbed the energy within the sun god crystal, so they were stronger in all aspects. According to the demon mirror, there was once a powerful being from the ancient era who beat up a few outer heavens by himself. Ancient era's people absorbed divine power to cultivate. Their energy and body contained divine power, that's why they became so powerful. Qin Yun is secretly shocked after reading the news. Of course, there were also many people who were skeptical. According to the news, the person who was beaten up was from the turtle scale heavenly region. Those people had tortoise-like heads, and their bodies were covered with many tortoise-shell-like scales. Their body's defense was extremely strong. The fact that the ancient era's people could beat up the people of the outer heaven domains with such strong defense caused other outer heaven domains people to raise doubt. Some people from the ancient era are not convinced, so they released some images on the demon mirror. Very soon, the demon mirror crazily spread the story of how the turtle scale heavenly domain people were beaten up. The defense of these turtle scale heavenly domain people is really strong. Qin Yun looked at the image of the battle and exclaimed again and again. Because many of the weapons used by the ancient era experts were broken, yet they were still unable to break through the defense of the turtle scale heavenly domain people. Of course, the strength of the ancient era experts is even more amazing. Because in the end, the turtle scale heavenly domain people were heavily injured by the ancient era experts with bare hand. Ling Yuner said with smile. Those turtle scale heavenly domain people must have fought over the sun crystals with the ancient era experts, that's why they had a conflict. Every time the ancient era people sleep, they sleep for an entire era. Although these guys are very patient, once they get angry, they are not easy to deal with. Qin Yun shook his head and said with smile, After all, I slept for so long, now that I have woken up, I naturally have to find some fun. The ancient era people are also displaying their formidable power. This way, the next time other outer heaven domain people want to fight them, they will have to be prepared to be beaten up. The turtle scale heavenly domain people have lost a lot of face. More than half of the people and beasts in the immortal desolate have seen how they were beaten up. Because of the appearance of the demon mirror, many interesting news can be seen frequently. Qin Yun can directly watch the battles of the Immortal King ranking inside the Immortal King ancient city through the demon mirror. Many Immortal Kings are very concerned about the battles of the Immortal King ranking, and the formidable Immortal Kings fighting on the stage have become very famous. For example, Brother Tyrannical Heaven has many admirers. Xie Wufeng, a formidable one-armed sword immortal, also made many sword immortals admire him. Qin Yun is now watching the battle between Peng Hantao and the Sun Spirit Race's Immortal King. Peng Hantao is also very skilled in dealing with Sun Spirit Race's Immortal King. After all, his mental power is very strong. Coupled with his inscription Dosher technique, he can very easily beat up the Sun Spirit Race's Immortal King. Immortal desolate people only know that the demon mirror was created by the devil mirror immortal emperor. And using the demon mirror requires a large amount of immortal jade beads. Immortal jade beads are becoming more and more common in the immortal desolate. Anyone with a bit of strength will not lack immortal jade beads. Qin Yun wants immortal jade beads to collect energy and store it inside the divine inscription mountain. Xiao Yun, Sister Kiru is in seclusion. Yu sent a message to Qin Yun. I will go to the divine inscription mountain, how do I go there? Qin Yun originally planned to ask Yu for help, but after thinking about it, he is somewhat worried and said, Forget it, I will think of another way. Hey, are you looking down on me? Yu groaned. Do you think I am not as powerful as Sister Kiru? So you don't want me to help? Qin Yun said with smile. Sister Yu, it's not like that. Don't misunderstand. I am currently running back and forth between Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. Sister Kiru came here before, she is very familiar with this place. Shuyan also came here before, so I plan to ask Sister Shuyan to help me. Xiao Yun, I will definitely help you. Your sister Shuyan is together with Yuelon and Yueme. The three of them are currently cultivating. Yu said, I am the most free. Isn't it Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and 10,000 Snake Mountain Range? I am very familiar with it. Sister Kiru might not necessarily be as familiar as me. Ah? Really? Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. Of course it's true. You brought me there in your past life. Yu said. All right, I will send old Zhao's magic mirror signal to you and let him contact you. Qin Yun said. After Yu and Xiao Hua contacted each other, she found out where the divine inscription mountain is. She immediately left the Guanghan Palace and headed towards the divine inscription mountain. Qin Yun ran back and forth between Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and 10,000 Snake Mountain Range, playing hide and seek with a large group of Outer Heaven Domain people. Devil Immortal Great Emperor and Immortal Desolate Great Emperor also did their best to slander Qin Yun on the magic mirror. However, those messages were quickly deleted and could not even be sent out. Things related to Qin Yun will not appear on the magic mirror. For example, his relationship with the women of the Guanghan Palace or negative news about him, they will all be filtered out. On the other hand, all kinds of scandals about Devil Immortal Great Emperor and Immortal Desolate Great Emperor are spread everywhere on the magic mirror. After all, they are famous people, their fame has spread throughout the Immortal Desolate for tens of thousands of years. Many people grew up listening to the legends of these two great emperors. Therefore, many people in the Immortal Desolate are very concerned about the matters of these two great emperors. What made Qin Yun laugh is that the person who exposed all kinds of scandals about these two great emperors is none other than the Netherworld Great Emperor. Netherworld Great Emperor led the entire Nether sect to fabricate all kinds of stories about these two great emperors. This angered the two great emperors so much that they personally went to the Nether sect. The process of them going to the Nether sect to cause trouble has also been posted on the magic mirror. Foster father really knows how to play. He and those two great emperors have a very deep grudge, it has been for many years. Qin Yun sighed and said. Yu very quickly arrived at the divine inscription mountain. She used a teleportation talisman to arrive nearby. Long Yuqing arrived shortly after. What caused Qin Yun to be surprised is that Long Yuqing recognizes Yu and Yu also recognizes Long Yuqing. Even though Long Yuqing did not take off her mask, Yu can still recognize her. It seems like their relationship is very good. Xiao Hua contacted Qin Yun through the magic mirror and said with smile, Boss, you want people to deliver those 6 pearls to you, right? And the sooner the better. Qin Yun said, Let Sister Yu deliver them as soon as possible. Actually, there is no need to go through so much trouble. I can directly deliver them to you through the magic mirror. Xiao Hua mischievously laughed and said, Boss, don't forget, this magic mirror's formation foundation is very powerful now. It uses many space gods' formidable spatial runes and totems. Really? Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. Because when he set up the Magic Mirror's formation foundation, he did not expect it to have this kind of ability. Of course it's true. The Divine Inscription Mountain originally has very strong spatial energy. There is no problem at all. Xiaohua said. The person who uses the magic mirror can use the magic mirror to teleport the immortal jade pearl to the Divine Inscription Mountain. Naturally, we can also use the formation foundation to teleport things to you. After Yu heard this, she said, those 6 pearls are very important. Using this method is very risky. What if the teleportation fails? That's true. Then I'll have to trouble Palace Master Yu to personally make a trip, Xiaohua said. Yu Qing, are you going? Yu asked. Me? I'm not going. I want to go to the Guang Han Palace for a stroll. Who should I contact when the time comes? Long Yuqing also knows that it is very difficult to enter and exit the moon's barrier. I'll let Bing Xing guide you, Yu said. She has already obtained the 6 pearls. Alright, then I'll go myself. Long Yuqing took the teleportation talisman from Yu. It will allow her to quickly teleport outside the moon's barrier. Yu and Long Yuqing immediately set off. And inside the heaven-leaping shuttle, Qin Yun is also very much looking forward to Yu's arrival. While waiting, he let Xiaohua give it a try. Sure enough, a sacred mysterious silver crystal fruit was teleported through the magic mirror. Very good, Qin Yun said with a smile. I wonder if it can teleport people over. It's a bit difficult, but in theory, it's possible. Xiaohua said with a smile. If there's a chance, let's give it a try. We have to find a guy with rough skin and thick flesh, because falling into the tyrannical spatial turbulence is very torturous. Chapter 1783. 9 Dragons Heavenly Pattern. Within 2 days, Yu arrived at the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. Through the magic mirror, Qin Yun is able to determine Yu's location. He immediately controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and appeared beside Yu. Then, he teleported Yu to the main control room. Yu is wearing black battle attire. Her white hair is tied into a high ponytail. She and Yang Shi are twin sisters. They have the same beautiful appearance. However, Yu appears even more domineering and callous. Her entire body is emitting a very strong feeling. Sister Yu, you came so fast, Qin Yun said with a smile. I'm very familiar with this place, so of course I'll be able to get here quickly. Yu looked around and faintly smiled. The heaven-leaping shuttle is still the same. You used this thing to bring me to the Nether Moon Desolate Domain. Qin Yun is somewhat astonished, he said with a smile. Is that so? So there's such a thing? Yu said. If I remember correctly, it should be. I can only blame myself for not being able to obtain the real Nether Moon. Although I have cultivated a saint body, it is not a powerful Nether Moon saint body. Her voice was filled with regret and guilt as she sighed. I've let down the opportunity that you've meticulously planned for me. If I had worked harder, I might have been even stronger now. Sister Yu, my previous life left me a letter, telling me to refine a real Nether Moon for you. Qin Yun said with smile. I think it's about time to help you refine. You also know that I have a lot of things to do, so this matter has been dragged on for a long time. Yu looked at Qin Yun, her beautiful eyes are filled with deep affection. She smiled gently and said, In your previous life you should have known that I was an idiot. You should have known that I couldn't obtain the Nether Moon in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain. That's why I left you a message in this life, asking you to refine a Nether Moon for me. Not necessarily. Maybe they are just preparing for a contingency, Qin Yun said with a smile. Yu bit her lower lip and shook her head with a smile. Her eyes flickered with affection. She suddenly leaned over and kissed Qin Yun's lip. She said with a smile, Xiao Yun, you go do your thing first. My nether moon can come later. Qin Yun is sitting on a chair. Yu Yu's beautiful face is right in front of him. Seeing that Yu Yu is about to take the initiative to kiss him, he quickly hugged her. Yu Yu's body also fell into Qin Yun's bosom. Qin Yun embraced her and said with a smile, Sister Yu Yu, you and Sister Yang are twin sisters. Although your personalities are different, I feel that you two have something in common. Of course. After all, we are sisters. Yu Yu leaned into Qin Yun's embrace and faintly sighed. However, Yu Ji seems to have a better relationship with you. I am somewhat jealous of her. She reincarnated and was still so close to you, but I couldn't understand you, and even misunderstood you. Qin Yun gently caressed her face and looked at her beautiful face. He said with a smile, I feel that since we can still be together, it means that we are still fated. Oh, that's right, Yu Qin gave you something. Yu Yu left Qin Yun's embrace and took out a large box. Qin Yun opened the box and saw 6 black pearls inside. Xiao Yun, how did you meet Yu Qing again? I asked her, but she didn't say. Yu Yu said. Qin Yun told Yu Yu about Long Yu Qing. After Yu Yu finished listening, she exclaimed in admiration again and again. She never expected that Qin Yun's past life would help them so much. Qin Yun picked up a large pearl and carefully looked inside. What's inside? Yu Qing didn't tell me either. She only said that it's very important and she can't say. Yu Yu asked curiously. Dragon Heavenly Rune. Qin Yun said with a frown. It's been so long, but these heavenly runes are still very active. They are indeed powerful heavenly runes. Yu Yu is somewhat astonished. She looked at the pearls inside the box and asked, Are these all different dragon heavenly runes? Qin Yun nodded. Yes. He took out the Gemini treasure mirror and began recording the heavenly runes inside the pearls. When Gemini treasure mirror records heavenly runes, it consumes a lot of energy. Of course, with Qin Yun's current strength, he can directly use blood spirit power to record the heavenly runes. After recording the 6 heavenly runes, he is very certain that they are 6 different dragon heavenly runes. Suddenly, the heaven-leaping shuttle shook. What's going on? Yu Yu promptly asked. Someone is attacking the heaven-leaping shuttle, Qin Yun said with a frown. I'll go out and tear them apart. Yu Yu took out a long saber, snorted and said, Xiao Yun, let me out. I want to let them know what pain and death are. This is the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest, it's not convenient to fight. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. Then, he controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and left through space. This time, he ran rather far away and entered the depths of the 10,000 Snake Mountain range. This will allow him to calm down for a period of time. Xiao Yun, running around like this isn't a good idea. How can you calm down? Yu Yu put away the saber in her hand and lightly frowned. She walked over and hugged Qin Yun from behind. She said softly, Come to the Guang Han Palace. The moon's barrier is very strong, and we also have many powerful immortal emperors. Qin Yun turned around and kissed Yu Yu's forehead. He said with a smile, No. The Guang Han Palace was destroyed once and so many people died. I can't let the Guang Han Palace be destroyed again. We are not afraid. Yu Yu grabbed Qin Yun's hands and looked at him affectionately. She said softly, Xiao Yun, we are all very worried about you. Seeing you running around like this, I feel very sorry for you. After she finished speaking, she leaned on Qin Yun and hugged him tightly. It's fine. Qin Yun smiled and kissed her cheek. He said, Look at me now, I'm playing hide and seek with those guys. They can't beat me. After they get tired of playing, they will naturally give up. But there will be more and more powerful guys coming from the outer heaven domain. There will be more and more people coming. Yu Yu said, Come to the Guang Han Palace. If someone attacks the Guang Han Palace, we'll kill those guys and make an example of them. We have enough strength now, we don't need to be afraid of them. Qin Yun shook his head. Sister Yu Yu, the moon is very important to you. Yu Yu is somewhat angry. She bit her lips and tenderly snorted. Then, she hit Qin Yun. Bastard, why don't you appreciate my kindness? At this time, Bai Zai contacted Qin Yun. Qin Yun took out the magic mirror and heard Bai Zai's voice. Boss, we have returned to the Divine Inscription Mountain. Bai Zai said. Alright, where's the little black donkey? Did he find Big Brother Azure Dragon? Qin Yun asked. He's coming soon. Bai Zai said with smile. Should we go find you? And Qin Yun nodded and said, I will meet you in the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. Boss, old Xiao just told me that we can teleport to your place through the magic mirror. Bai Zai chuckled and said, We want to give it a try. Aren't you guys afraid of a problem? Qin Yun said with smile. What's there to be afraid of? We all have rough skin and thick flesh. Even if something goes wrong, we won't die immediately. Bai Zai laughed loudly and said, When great god Xian Wu comes, we will teleport to your place together. All right. Qin Yun also agreed. More than 2 hours later, Little Black Donkey and Azure Dragon arrived at the Divine Inscription Mountain. Xiao Hua and Mountain God immediately transferred a lot of energy to the magic mirror. Through the magic mirror, he determined Qin Yun's position and teleported Black Mouse, Bai Zai and others over. Qin Yun also controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to release spatial power to receive it. In the blink of an eye, several figures appeared inside the main control room of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. A tall and sturdy Azure Dragon and 2 other Heavenly Rune Dragons. These 2 Heavenly Rune Dragons are the same size as Azure Dragon, tall and sturdy. Their bodies are filled with formidable dragon power. Although Little Black Donkey, Black Mouse and Bai Zai are very formidable inscription beasts, they are still lacking compared to the 3 Heavenly Rune Dragons. Qin Yun is very familiar with Azure Dragon because Azure Dragon used to be together with his father Qin Long. They are both people of Nether sect. The 2 Heavenly Rune Dragons are also very easy to talk to, they naturally know Qin Yun. As soon as Qin Yun saw them, he took out a lot of food to eat. Boss, they are all inscription beasts. If Lord Priest can help them evolve their runes, they will be very happy. Bai Zai said. No problem. Qin Yun is very clear that if he wants to obtain Dragon Heavenly Rune, he can only use food to exchange for it. Qin Yun released Mo's strength has increased by a lot because she can eat a lot of good things. Moreover, the more runes she collects, the stronger her strength will become. After seeing Mo, Azure Dragon and the 2 Heavenly Rune Dragons felt deep veneration. They immediately saluted the little fairy and called her Lord Priest. Little Black Donkey, Black Mouse and Bai Zai are also very respectful towards Mo. Qin Yun feels that he can let these 2 formidable Heavenly Rune Dragons stay on Divine Inscription Mountain. With Mo here, they will definitely be willing to stay. Mo began helping the 3 dragons transform. Transformation is very useful. After Black Mouse and Bai Zai were transformed by Mo, their strength increased by a lot. Mo's transformation is very fast. This caused those formidable inscription beasts to exclaim in admiration again and again. Those 3 dragons also released their Dragon Heavenly Runes. Their Dragon Heavenly Runes are 1. Qin Yun took out the Gemini Treasure Mirror and recorded the 3 Dragon Heavenly Runes. After recording, he is very happy in his heart because these 3 Dragon Heavenly Runes are not the same as the previous 6. In other words, he has collected 9 completely different Dragon Heavenly Runes. Boss, this is our first time coming to the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. We will take a stroll around here and then leave. If you need help, we can also help. Black Mouse said with smile. All right. Qin Yun nodded his head. He also hinted Black Mouse and Bai Zai to make the 2 Heavenly Rune Dragons stay on Divine Inscription Mountain as much as possible. After the group of inscription beasts left, Yu Yu said with smile. Xiao Yun, I didn't expect that the power you established would be so strong. If those inscription beasts become ruthless, Even us formidable immortal emperors would be somewhat afraid. I only want to develop in secret. Wait until I have enough strength. Whoever dares to provoke us will be instantly killed. Qin Yun said with smile. Sister Yu, can you help me call big sister Kong over? Feiqing? No problem. I will go now. Yu doesn't know what Qin Yun wants to do, but she knows that Kong Feiqing has mastered heavenly runes. Qin Yun used the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to teleport out of Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and let Yu go out. This way, she can use the teleportation talisman to go to Moon. Chapter 1784. Great Tomb of Holy Land. Chapter 1784. Great Tomb of Holy Land. Qin Yun controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to return to the depths of 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. It is very dangerous in the depths of 10,000 Snake Mountain Range because there are many natural strongholds here. For example, there would be a sudden burst of strange lightning or an inexplicable surge of violent flames. Fortunately, the Heaven Leaping Shuttle's defense is very strong. Moreover, it has a self-defense ability. If it senses a very strong power, the Heaven Leaping Shuttle will suddenly shake. After sensing the vibration, Qin Yun will immediately control the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to travel through space and get away from the danger. If not for this Heaven Leaping Shuttle, I really don't know how to hide. Qin Yun now knows the importance of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. He took out the box and looked at the 6 pitch-black heavenly rune bead. These heavenly rune were collected in my past life? How did I get my hands on these beads in my previous life? Qin Yun picked one up and studied it carefully. The dragon heavenly rune inside the heavenly rune is complete and can be used directly. And the dragon heavenly rune inside the Gemini treasure mirror needs an inscription master to create it. Qin Yun still doesn't know how to create a complete heavenly rune. He is now carefully studying the heavenly rune beads. These heavenly rune beads are different from the ones he is familiar with. They are bigger and more stable. The material of the heavenly rune beads is not from immortal desolate. Could it be that these dragon heavenly rune were collected in divine desolate? Xiao Yun, although you threw the divine universe golden stone into immortal desolate in your past life, you did not abandon it, you only hid it in immortal desolate. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun nodded and said with sigh, I spent a lot of time on the divine universe golden stone in my past life. I must succeed in this life. Now he is waiting for Kong Feiqing because she has the Gemini heavenly rune and can even create Gemini heavenly rune. Qin Yun wants to use the Gemini heavenly rune's special characteristic to duplicate the dragon heavenly rune inside the Gemini treasure mirror. In other words, turn the Gemini heavenly rune into dragon heavenly rune. According to his understanding of the inscriptions, this method was feasible. However, he still needed to study it more before he could implement it. In the last 2 days, Qin Yun has been earnestly looking at the 9 dragon heavenly runes recorded by the Gemini treasure mirror. Mo is also watching from the side. Mo helped Qin Yun a lot and told him about the characteristics of dragon heavenly rune. Mo is also diligently studying heavenly runes. She also wants to help Qin Yun condense heavenly runes. 2 days later, Yu contacted Qin Yun. Xiao Yun, we are outside the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest, come and pick us up. Yu said. Yu has been gone for 2 days, it is still quite long. Qin Yun thought that she would be able to bring Kong Feiqing back in 1 day. Qin Yun immediately controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and flew out of the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. To his surprise, Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian came together. Through the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, Qin Yun released a spatial force and teleported them to the main control room. Little brother Xiao Yun, long time no see, I was worried to death. Kong Feiqing's charming eyes flickered with smiling expression. Yun. Gong Fian lightly smiled, her sweet face is somewhat charming. Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian are wearing beautiful red skirt, their hair is tied up in front of their chest, they look like a pair of sisters. Although they are mother and daughter, there is a big difference between them. Kong Feiqing is more open, she is charming and charming, she is like a big sister, she is very concerned about this little brother Qin Yun. And Gong Fian is rather bashful. She was originally a pampered woman, but after being educated by Qin Yun, her temperament changed greatly. Now she is a gentle and virtuous woman. Her smile is sweet and fresh, filled with youthful vigor. Big sister Kong Yen Yen, Qin Yun said with smile. I also haven't seen you for a long time. I came to find you because I have some business. You won't blame me, right? Blame you for what? If it were not for you, we mother and daughter might not even be able to come to the immortal desolate. Kong Feiqing walked over with charming smile and touched Qin Yun's face. She said with heartache, Xiao Yun, you are fat. You must have been under a lot of pressure during this period of time, right? Qin Yun looked at himself in the mirror a few times before, but he did not notice that he is fat. He said with smile, the pressure is not that big, it is actually very fun. Yu said with smile from the side, Feiqing, look at you, you touched Xiao Yun until he is embarrassed. I used to touch him a lot. Kong Feiqing squinted her charming eyes, she grabbed Qin Yun's hand and touched it again and again. She said with gentle smile, Xiao Yun, why did you come to find me? It must be an urgent matter. Qin Yun said with firm expression, Big sister Kong, how is your usage of Gemini Heavenly Rune? Kong Feiqing looked at Gong Fian and said, It is very good, both me and Yen Yen have Gemini Heavenly Rune. Can you make it like before? Didn't you give me two before? Qin Yun said. At that time, Ling Yuner helped him communicate with the Gemini Heavenly Rune. Not bad. The most awesome thing about Gemini Heavenly Rune is that it can replicate itself. Gong Fian walked over to Qin Yun's side and said with smile, Yun, our cultivation was so low before, but we could still produce new Gemini Heavenly Rune, let alone now. Qin Yun indeed obtained 2 Gemini Heavenly Runes. One was used to refine Gemini Treasure Mirror, and the other was used to refine Xiao Yume's Small Mirror. I need 3. They are very important to me, thank you for your hard work. Qin Yun said. It's not hard work, we will make them very quickly. Kong Feiqing said with smile. Then she caressed Qin Yun's face and said, Xiao Yun, you seem to have become a lot more adorable. Qin Yun is startled, then said with smile, This is the first time someone said I am adorable. Mom, don't tease Yun, we should quickly go and condense Gemini Heavenly Rune. Gong Fian chuckled and urged, Yun is in such a situation, he urgently needs Gemini Heavenly Rune, it must be very important. Kong Feiqing said with smile, It is very rare to see Xiao Yun. Oh, that's right, how much have you 2 comprehended Gemini Heavenly Rune? Qin Yun is also very curious, he feels that he will have to ask Yi Yaoshua later. She is also someone who has Heavenly Rune. We are not inscription masters, it is very hard to explain. Kong Feiqing looked at Gong Fian and said, In short, after me and Yen Yen have Gemini Heavenly Rune, we felt that it is complete. Yu said, Gemini Heavenly Rune, only with 2 can it be considered complete. Kong Feiqing nodded and said, Indeed. But I originally only had 1, under the condition of only having 1, I can create a new one and complete Gemini Heavenly Rune. Then can you 2 have 2 Gemini Heavenly Runes inside your bodies at the same time? Qin Yun asked again. This should be the most complete form. Kong Feiqing shook her head. Although Gemini Heavenly Rune is called Gemini, it cannot exist together at the same time. In short, me and Yen Yen tried it before, 2 Gemini Heavenly Runes inside our immortal King Life crystals rejected each other. Then when you mother and daughter were together, did you ever reject each other? Qin Yun asked. Not at all. Gong Fian said with smile. When we cultivate together with Mom, it is actually a lot faster. They have Gemini Heavenly Rune, they have a very mystical method to cultivate, it is to use Gemini Heavenly Rune to split energy and then fuse them together. Qin Yun cultivated together with them before, so he advanced by leaps and bounds. All right, I will send you two to the secret room. Qin Yun yelled. Send them to the 8th secret room. Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian were immediately sent to the 8th secret room. Yu Yu very curiously asked, Xiao Yun, what exactly are you doing? Those pearls have dragon heavenly runes inside, and now you need their Gemini heavenly runes. I want to make a 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, Qin Yun said. 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Yu Yu is extremely shocked. After the Devil Mirror recovered, many things related to the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation spread. Even now, many people don't know that Dragon Manor no longer has the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. However, Dragon Manor has great deterrence because people think that they have the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Yu Yu said in shock. Many Outer Heaven Domains people are very afraid of the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. It is said that when Dragon Race roamed Outer Heaven Domain, they used this great formation to intimidate many formidable Outer Heaven Domains people. Dragon Race and Imperial Race Divine Palaces Imperial Dragon Race. Because of some reason, their 9-dragon heavenly origin formation no longer exists. Qin Yun said with sigh. It is just that outside world doesn't know about it. Through the Devil Mirror, he heard from some Outer Heaven Domains people that when Dragon Race was in Outer Heaven Domain, they used the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation as an offensive great formation and destroyed many formidable factions. Yu Yu also realized how big of a matter Qin Yun is currently doing. I will do my best to help you. Yu Yu hugged Qin Yun's waist and said with a smile, During this period of time, let me stay by your side. I want to get to know you again. Elder sister, Bing Xing, Yu Qin and the others have all been with you for a long time. You must give me a chance to get to know you again. Qin Yun kissed her forehead and caressed her snow-white braid. He said with a smile, Palace Master Yu Yu, if you stay by my side, I will make you do hard labor. You are a high and mighty beautiful Palace Master. Are you willing to listen to my orders? Yu Yu pinched Qin Yun's face and said with a charming smile, You heartless fellow, in your previous life, you ordered me to do hard labor. I'm already used to it. Just as Qin Yun and Yu Yu are flirting, his devil mirror suddenly vibrated. It is the little black donkey contacting him. Sect Master, we have a major discovery in the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. The Dark Royal Race and a group of Outer Heaven Domain fellows have discovered a very large tomb here. The little black donkey said, Sect Master, quickly come and instruct us on how to deal with those fellows. There are definitely good things in that large tomb. How can you be sure that there are good things inside? Qin Yun asked. The Sun's sacred land is a graveyard. This is what Qin Long told Qin Yun. Therefore, most of the tombs in the Sun's sacred land are sealed with some very powerful fellows. They are all very difficult to kill with their bodies. Those 3 big brothers Long said it. They said that there is a dragon totem in that tomb. Little Black Donkey said, Sect Master, quickly come over. Chapter 1785. The emotionless immortal Qin Yun doesn't plan to go because Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian are in the middle of crafting the new Gemini heavenly rune. He is afraid that, if they encounter an accident, it will be greatly affected. Although he did not know when they would be done, they said that they would be able to produce it very quickly. Qin Yun felt that he would not have to wait too long. You can see that Qin Yun is very apprehensive. She gently caressed Qin Yun's face and said with a smile, Just send me over. Let me command. Yu is a woman who can fight very well. She belongs to the battle maniac type and is very warlike. Now that she has encountered this kind of situation, she does not want to let it go. All right, be careful. Qin Yun also agreed. My strength is not weak. Azure Dragon and the other inscription beasts are also strong enough. If there is any accident, we can escape. Yu said. Qin Yun immediately confirmed the location of the little black donkey and the others, then controlled the Skyleap shuttle to teleport over. From the Heaven Leaping Shuttle's main control room, Qin Yun and Yu Yu can see the situation outside. And right ahead there is a pitch-black city. At first glance, one could feel a gloomy feeling. The entire city was filled with dense qi. It is indeed a very big tomb. Qin Yun said in amazement. It has been built to the size of a city. Who built this kind of tomb? Yu Yu is also very curious. Qin Yun is also very puzzled. He shook his head and said, "Did this tomb suddenly appear? I didn't notice it before." The 10,000 Snake Mountain Range is huge. It's normal that you didn't notice. Yu Yu took out a long saber and said, "Teleport me out." Qin Yun also saw the black donkey and the others. They were at the top of a mountain, looking at the black city that was surrounded by many tall mountains. "I will take you there," Qin Yun said. After he controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to approach, he teleported out with Yu Yu and arrived at the top of the mountain. Qin Yun said, "This is Palace Master Yu Yu. Just listen to her commands." The black donkey whispered, "Boss, are you worried that the Divine Universe Goldstone will be sensed? Is that why you're not coming with us?" Qin Yun did indeed have such worries. If he followed the team and was sensed by many powerful outer heaven domain forces, it would indeed be very troublesome. "Rest assured and follow Palace Master Nethermoon," Qin Yun said with a smile. "You must remember, if you encounter danger, retreat immediately." "Got it," He Shu said with a smile. "Boss, we'll go take a look. You can take a stroll nearby." Qin Yun nodded before returning to the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. He controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to the other side of the Black City, far away from Yu Yu and the rest. "Is this really a tomb? Why does it look like a city?" Qin Yun was somewhat puzzled. He had never seen such a huge mausoleum that was built like a city. Not long after, Yu Yu sent a message. "Xiao Yun, not only the Darkness Royal race is here, Sun Spirit race and Sun Hunter race are also here. There are also many outer heaven domain people outside the city gates." "Is that really a tomb?" Qin Yun asked. "Yes. The city gate is a tombstone. On it is written Grave of Heartless Immortal Venerable." Yu Yu said. "Heartless Immortal? Who was this? Have you heard of it?" Qin Yun is somewhat astonished. Immortal Venerable is a very rare title. Sufficiently powerful immortal emperors, after dominating an area for many years, would be called Great Emperors. For example, Immortal Desolate Great Emperor, Devil Immortal Great Emperor and Netherworld Great Emperor. And now there are many new powerful immortal emperors whose strength is comparable to those three great emperors. They did not obtain the title of Great Emperor because they did not dominate an area for a long time. Immortal Venerable and Great Emperor are the same, both are titles. However, Immortal Venerable is above Great Emperor. To be conferred the title of Immortal Venerable, not only their strength has reached the peak of immortals, their actions are also worthy of respect and worship. In other words, the title of Immortal Venerable is conferred by later generations. His character is recognized by everyone. It can be said that people who are conferred the title of Immortal Venerable are people who once influenced the entire Immortal Desolate and were revered by many people in the Immortal Desolate. This kind of person can smoothly enter the Sacred Desolate. Just because they are revered by all the immortals, they can obtain the weak saint power of all the immortals and become an eternal saint. They can blast open the gate of the Sacred Desolate and enter the Sacred Desolate. I've never heard of it, but to be called an Immortal Venerable, he must be very amazing. Yu Yu said. Heartless Immortal Venerable? This person claims to be heartless, and how can a heartless person become an Immortal Venerable? Qin Yun is also extremely curious. Yu Yu said, Xiao Yun, did you notice that the people from the outer heaven domain did not continue to chase you? Instead, they are rushing towards that tomb. Qin Yun indeed noticed. It can be seen that the attractiveness of the tomb is about the same as his divine universe golden stone. Those guys might know something, Yu said. I'll go and find out. Qin Yun looked at Heartless Immortal Venerable's huge tomb from a distance. He also saw Yu leading the little black donkey and others towards the entrance of the tomb. Just as they were about to approach, a burst of intense golden light suddenly appeared in the sky above the tomb. Roar! An ear-piercing and unpleasant dragon roar resounded. The earth trembled, wind and clouds surged in all directions. Tyrannical dragon power surged. Qin Yun shouted in alarm. Sister Yu, quickly retreat. It's a guy from the Sun Spirit race. It's a very strong dragon transformation saint insect. Didn't you and Shu Yan kill a divine sun dragon empress before? Isn't that the strongest? Yu is also very astonished because she can sense how terrifying that dragon power is. That one before was only the divine sun dragon empress. This one should be the divine sun dragon emperor. Of course, they are all transformed from those bugs. They should be called soul poison insect emperors. Qin Yun said. These guys are still very strong, don't get close. The Azure Dragon and the other two Heavenly Rune Dragons also sensed how terrifying the soul poison insect emperor is, so they stopped one after another. Yu also had no choice but to quickly retreat to avoid being affected. From the distance, Qin Yun can see a huge beast flapping its wings suddenly descend from the golden cloud in the sky. That huge beast has a bug-like body. It is segmented and looks somewhat disgusting. Its wings are like moth wings and its head looks a bit like a dragon, but it is very ugly. The only part of its body that looks more like a dragon is that it has 4 very large dragon claws. However, it does not match its body at all. The soul poison insect emperor suddenly appeared. A large number of Sun Spirit race experts also followed. This tomb has already been occupied by my Sun Spirit race. As for the rest of you, quickly leave. Otherwise, if you steal this tomb, you will be viewed as a great enemy by my Sun Spirit race. The old man from the Sun Spirit race shouted. I'll give you an hour to leave this place. After an hour, if there are still people nearby, we will kill them. The Sun Spirit race is extremely powerful. As soon as they appeared, they announced that this tomb was theirs. Qin Yun is somewhat puzzled. Because this tomb is so important to the Sun Spirit race, it must be hiding something. Impudent! Sun Spirit race, who do you think you are? Someone shouted angrily. When Qin Yun heard this voice, he is even more surprised. It is actually the Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor. The Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor is here. Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb has finally appeared. What does this mean? An illusory voice sounded. When Qin Yun heard that voice, he cursed in his heart. It is actually the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master faintly smiled. I am the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master, but this place is the Sun Sacred Land. It has nothing to do with me. I just came here to take a look. Coward! Qin Yun cursed in his heart. Heartless Immortal Venerable once repelled the powerful enemies of the Outer Heaven domain and protected the Immortal Desolate from being invaded by the evil powers of the Outer Heaven domain. We shouldn't disturb him. The voice of the person who spoke is old and indistinct, as if it came from all directions. When Qin Yun heard this person's voice, he is alarmed. It is actually that swindler Tian Daozi. The appearance of Tian Daozi also caused many people to be on guard. Because this is a very mysterious expert. Boom boom boom. A rumbling sound echoed out, only to see a huge mountain suddenly flying over, rampaging along the way and smashing many mountains. It is the Heavenly Tao altar that is like a huge mountain. Qin Yun said with a frown. What is this guy doing here? I wonder if De Zhuang is nearby. Devil Immortal Great Emperor said with a sneer. Heartless Immortal Venerable is someone from the previous era. He has nothing to do with this era. That's not true. If not for him protecting the previous era, You might not have been born in this era, Tiandaozi indifferently said. Heartless Immortal Venerable is a heavenly Tao expert, I hope everyone will not disturb him. Bullshit. Heartless Immortal Venerable once obtained the help of the sun. He obtained a peerless divine weapon that descended from the sun and successfully repelled many outer heaven domain powers. And our sun spirit race represents the sun. We are here to take back that peerless divine weapon. The old man from the sun spirit race shouted. Qin Yun is secretly astonished. He thought that the people buried in the sun's sacred land were all evil people. He never expected that there would be heroes like Heartless Immortal Venerable. The sun spirit race is extremely powerful, especially their soul-poisoned sacred insects. If one was hit by their tricks, they would be tortured to the point of mental collapse. If you want to oppose our sun spirit race, then bring it on. The old man from the sun spirit race sneered and rushed down from the sky. Tiandaozi lightly sighed. Fine, since Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb has appeared, it means that the fate of this tomb has come to an end. Swindler. Qin Yun cursed in his heart. In other words, now only the dragon race has to fight against the sun spirit race. However, the dragon race is not the sun spirit race's opponent, and the dragon race didn't send many dragons. Heartless Immortal Venerable killed many experts of my Heaven Horn heavenly domain. Today, I want to dig up his tomb to take revenge. I ask you to not stop us. The person who spoke is a middle-aged man. As soon as his voice appeared, a large group of people flew over from the sky with a hoo-hoo-hoo sound. Qin Yun carefully looked at this group of people. Each and every one of them are very big, more than 3 meters tall. They all have a half-meter-long red horn on their head. These are the Heavenly Horn people from the Heaven Horn heavenly domain. After the Heavenly Horn people appeared, they released a formidable aura. Suddenly wind and waves rose up and the earth crazily shook. The people in the vicinity had no choice but to continue retreating. Chapter 1786. Heavenly Rune, Heavenly Punishment. After the Heaven Horn people landed, they arrived at the door of the tomb in the blink of an eye. And the Sun Spirit Race people also appeared. Two powerful forces were facing each other in front of the door. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor didn't appear because they didn't have enough people on their side. The Heaven Horn people looked at the short Sun Spirit Race people and sneered. Qin Yun is nearby, aren't you going to catch him? He is the #1 enemy of your Sun Spirit Race. You still have the mind to dawdle with us here. We will deal with Qin Yun sooner or later, we don't need you to remind us. The Sun Spirit Race old man looked at Qin Yun's direction and snorted. Qin Yun is nearby and more than half of the people from the outer heaven are rushing over to Qin Yun. Some of them are still near Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb. Many of them must have heard of Heartless Immortal Venerable. This expert from the previous era left such a deep impression on them, it can be seen how powerful he is. These bastards! Qin Yun saw that people from the outer heaven are chasing him. He can only leave immediately. Of course, he didn't go far from Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb. He controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to wander nearby and then watched what happened near Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb through the magic mirror. On the magic mirror, many things about Heartless Immortal Venerable appeared. They were all provided by those people from the outer heaven. Heartless Immortal Venerable once led his Heartless Immortal sect to repel hundreds of outer heaven forces that wanted to occupy Immortal Desolate. Many outer heaven forces sent very powerful immortal emperors over, but they were all killed by Heartless Immortal Venerable. Moreover, Heartless Immortal Venerable used the heads of those powerful immortal emperors to set up a great formation. A large number of bodies of outer heaven cultivators were piled up into a mountain. The magic mirror also said that because of the abnormality of the sun, many sun god crystals fell in Immortal Desolate and attracted many people from the outer heaven to fight for them. Sun god crystals are very rare in other heavens, so when they detected a large number of them in Immortal Desolate, they immediately rushed over. In the end, they were all killed by heartless Immortal Venerable. Immortal Desolate used to be very united, fighting against Outer Heaven cultivators. No wonder they were conferred the title of Immortal Venerable. Qin Yun sighed. Shocking news suddenly appeared on the magic mirror. The Sun Soul tribe and the Heaven Horn tribe started fighting. The Sun Spirit race had a good relationship with many Outer Heavens, and the Heaven Horn tribe also had a few Outer Heavens allies. At this time, both sides were fighting beside the tomb of the emotionless immortal. Sister Yu, you don't need to go there for now, Qin Yun said with smile. Those guys are fighting. I won't leave for now. The Dark Royal family is still nearby. These guys didn't make a move. If those two groups of people were to fight until both sides are injured, we would be able to take advantage of them. Yu said. The Dark Royal race guys are not weak, can you deal with them? Qin Yun asked. Isn't there still the Dragon race? They are watching from the sidelines. They won't let the Dark Royal race succeed. Yu said with a smile. The Dragon race and the Guang Han Palace are allies of the Emperor race. I can join hands with them at that time. Then be careful, Qin Yun warned. Got it. Yu nodded. Yu is the Guang Han Palace's palace master. Guang Han Palace's reconstruction, her contributions cannot go unnoticed. In the early days of reconstruction, she used her formidable power to intimidate many immortal emperors. Many Outer Heavens domain people are chasing Qin Yun. Qin Yun can only temporarily leave the 10,000 Snake Mountain range and head towards the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. The people chasing Qin Yun all loudly cursed because they know that Qin Yun has returned to the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. This way, everyone knows that it will be very difficult to catch Qin Yun unless they can restrict him from traveling through space. Or they can keep up with Qin Yun and destroy the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Qin Yun is observing the battle situation from time to time inside the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. What surprised him is that the Sun Spirit race and their Outer Heavens domain allies have suffered many casualties. The Heaven Horn tribe are indeed very powerful. Their large horns are very berserk. When they fight, they directly rush over and use the powerful large horns on their heads to attack. Their large horns can absorb all kinds of berserk power or release a kind of power to send them flying. Their large horns could also release a very strong power, condensing an extremely strong penetrating power, penetrating through all kinds of defensive magic treasures. There are about 100 Heaven Horn people, each of them is a very powerful immortal emperor. Their bodies are like lightning, flying back and forth, using the large horns on their heads to attack people. Those who are hit by the large horns are either dead or injured. Through the magic mirror, Qin Yun can see that one of the Outer Heavens domain people was pierced through by the flying Heaven Horn people. If one's body isn't strong enough, one hit by the Heaven Horn people's large horns would instantly shatter their body. The huge soul venom insect emperor's body is also pierced through by the Heaven Horn people. The Heaven Horn people aren't afraid of the Sun Spirit race's attack at all. Furthermore, the Heaven Horn people's allies are also very powerful. They have caused the Sun Spirit race's side to suffer heavy casualties. In just a few hours, the Sun Spirit race has been defeated and the Soul Venom Insect Emperor has also been beaten to the ground by the Heaven Horn people. Next, many people can see through the magic mirror that the Heaven Horn people's terrifying horns have pierced into the Soul Venom Insect Emperor's body and devoured its energy. In just a short period of time, the Soul Venom Insect Emperor's huge body began to shrink, the energy inside its body was crazily devoured. The Sun Spirit race people have kicked an iron plate. Qin Yun sighed in his heart. The Outer Heavens people are truly powerful. They cultivate all kinds of abilities. Xiao Yun, the sudden appearance of Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb is not a coincidence. Ling Yuner said, "What do you think this has to do with?" "What does it have to do with?" Qin Yun said with frown. This should have suddenly appeared. What is there to be a coincidence or not? This tomb has been underground all this time. But it suddenly appeared during this period of time. Ling Yun'er said, Think about it, what does it have to do with? Qin Yun frowned and thought about it, then said in surprise, Could it be that heartless immortal venerable is not dead? He suddenly appeared to deal with the outer heavens people? Yes, in this era, it should be at this time that a large number of outer heavens people come over. Ling Yun'er said, Because a large number of outer heavens people came to capture you, they are moving around in the 10,000 Snake Mountain range. Heartless Immortal Venerable is very familiar with outer heavens people, maybe he has been awakened. In that case, maybe Heartless Immortal Venerable is also learning the secret cultivation methods of ancient era people. Qin Yun thought of this point and felt extremely astonished. Ling Yun'er said with smile, Xiao Yun, maybe you will be able to see Heartless Immortal Venerable's elegant demeanor. Qin Yun told Yu about this speculation and told them not to attack the city-like tomb as much as possible to avoid being targeted by the awakened Heartless Immortal Venerable. 2 days passed by. Battles continued unceasingly inside Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb. Not only the Heaven Horn people want to monopolize the tomb, there are also many Outer Heavens people who want to monopolize the tomb. Heartless Immortal Venerable once killed all the famous immortal emperors of the nearby hundreds of heaven domains. Those heaven domains people all wanted to monopolize Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb. They wanted to see if Heartless Immortal Venerable's powerful secret was hidden inside the tomb. Qin Yun arrived at the 8th secret room inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian condensed 3 Gemini heavenly runes and sealed them inside the Soul Sealing Pearl. You have worked hard, Big Sister Kong Yen. Qin Yun said with smile. Thank you. No need to be polite, let Big Sister touch it. Kong Feiqing smiled charmingly. She is extremely flirtatious and flirtatious. She extended her hands to touch Qin Yun's face. Mother. Gong Fian's face became red as she said in soft voice, Don't touch a Yun, you are too outrageous. So what? I just like touching this adorable little brother, Kong Feiqing said with smile. Her beautiful eyes flickered with coquettish intent. She looked at Qin Yun and smiled charmingly. After Kong Feiqing is satisfied, she said with smile, Xiao Yun, I want to rest with Yen. Wait for me to rest, you must let me touch your face again. Alright, no problem, Qin Yun said with smile. Mother, you are really something, Gong Fian lightly rebuked, then said to Qin Yun with smile. A Yun, don't mind her. My mother is like this, she always thinks that she is very young. Wretched girl, are you saying that I am an old cow eating cradle grass? Kong Feiqing scolded with smile, and then pinched Gong Fian's face. Qin Yun left the 8th secret room and let them rest inside. Then he promptly returned to the main control room. Inside the main control room, he can understand the situation outside very well. Qin Yun took out the Gemini treasure mirror and made a dragon heavenly rune appear on the mirror. Then he took out the heavenly rune pearl with the Gemini heavenly rune sealed inside. Follow my intuition. Qin Yun poured his formidable blood spirit power into the Gemini treasure mirror. He activated the Gemini treasure mirror and stimulated the dragon heavenly rune inside, then shined it on the Gemini heavenly rune inside the heavenly rune pearl. Qin Yun suddenly groaned in low voice because he is feeling some pain. This pain is coming from his soul. Why is it so painful? Qin Yun is very doubtful. I don't know. Although you consumed a lot, it didn't affect your soul. Ling Yun'er also didn't know the reason. Qin Yun can only endure the pain and continue. He can also sense that after the Gemini heavenly rune inside the heavenly rune was shined on by the Gemini treasure mirror, the inside of the Gemini heavenly rune has changed. The Gemini heavenly rune is transforming into dragon heavenly rune bit by bit. Success. Qin Yun is very happy in his heart. Although he is consuming a lot of blood spirit power, He feels that it is not a problem. The only problem is that his soul is suffering from an indescribable pain. Boom! A loud explosion suddenly shook the entire Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest. The Thunder Fog inside the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest was originally very calm, but now it is frantically surging. Xiao Yun, quickly run! You are provoking heavenly punishment! Ling Yun suddenly yelled. What? Qin Yun suddenly realized why his soul is in so much pain. It is a kind of heavenly punishment. He immediately controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and flew towards the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. After arriving at the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range, a large amount of berserk thunder and lightning dropped down from the sky. There are many people inside the 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. They all saw a bottle gourd-like thing being bombarded by a large amount of violent thunder and lightning. Qin Yun refined the dragon Heavenly Rune and provoked heavenly punishment. Chapter 1787. Altar Refuge. Chapter 1787. Heavenly punishments. Thunder and lightning are very berserk. Spectators saw Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle being bombarded by such dreadful thunder and lightning. They all thought that a formidable expert has appeared. Outer Heaven Domain's super expert has arrived? This kind of thunder and lightning is too dreadful. Someone cried out in alarm. Qin Yun is done for this time. His heaven-leaping shuttle is truly awesome. It can actually last for so long. If it was something else, it would have already been blasted to pieces. A middle-aged man looked towards the direction of the great tomb and said again, Could it be related to Heartless Immortal Venerable? Don't talk nonsense, there is no relation. It must be a super expert who came over and discovered Qin Yun in passing, that's why he took action. A3. I wonder who is so formidable. This guy wants to obtain Qin Yun's Divine Universe Golden Stone. Very quickly, the scene of the heaven-leaping shuttle being bombarded by the formidable heavenly thunder spread on the Devil Mirror. After Yu saw it, she immediately contacted Qin Yun through the Devil Mirror. Many of Qin Yun's friends are also continuously contacting him. Qin Yun also replied saying that he is fine for the time being and don't worry. He is currently refining Dragon Heavenly Rune. It is also a very crucial moment. He doesn't have time to say anything. Moreover, he still needs to control the heaven-leaping shuttle to release power to resist the berserk heavenly thunder. Xiao Yun, this won't do. The heaven-leaping shuttle will be destroyed. Ling Yun said. Qin Yun can also feel the pressure from the heaven-leaping shuttle. He promptly sent over Gong Fian and Kong Feiqing from the 8th secret room and let them enter the 9 Sun Divine Soul together with Shui Tianzi and the others. It seems like refining Dragon Heavenly Rune is violating Heavenly Dao Law. Qin Yun is very puzzled and said in his heart, Big Sister Kong and the others refined so many Gemini Heavenly Rune but nothing happened to them. Their Gemini Heavenly Rune can give birth to new Gemini Heavenly Rune. This is an innate ability, and you transformed Gemini Heavenly Rune into Dragon Heavenly Rune. This is not a natural matter, it is a result of human intervention. Ling Yun said. Alright. Qin Yun firmly held the Gemini treasure mirror and unceasingly poured formidable blood spirit power into it. Although he expended a lot of blood soul power, it was nothing to Qin Yun. His blood soul power was extremely rich. It was because of the heavenly punishment that his soul felt numb. Furthermore, the heaven-leaping shuttle had been struck by the heavenly lightning. If this continued, the heaven-leaping shuttle would be destroyed. We must not let the sky-leaping shuttle be destroyed. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and said, If the heaven-leaping shuttle is destroyed, it will be very troublesome for me to face the pursuit of the outer heaven domain people in the future. He immediately steered the heaven-leaping shuttle to a certain location. Meanwhile, a large number of violent heavenly lightning continued to appear in the sky. The people nearby were alarmed when they saw this. because that kind of powerful heavenly lightning power did not seem to be something that could be released by a creature from the immortal level space. Many people rushed over to where the heaven-leaping shuttle was. When they sensed the remnant energy, they cried out in alarm. A very powerful saint force. That's saint-level lightning. Don't tell me that sacred desolate's expert can directly kill Qin Yun through space? This is too awesome. I want to quickly send it to the magic mirror. Many people, beasts and all kinds of creatures in the immortal desolate are paying attention to the heartless immortal venerable's tomb and the matter of Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle being bombarded through the magic mirror. Now, everyone knows that the lightning that attacked Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle contains extremely strong saint power. It does not belong to the immortal desolate. A sacred desolate expert attacked, but no one saw that expert. This is the speculation of many people. However, they don't know that the danger Qin Yun is facing is much more dreadful than that of a sacred desolate expert. It is the mysterious power of heavenly punishment. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and quickly flew towards a huge mountain. That huge mountain can move. It is the heavenly Tao altar where Tian Dao Zi lived. After Qin Yun approached the heavenly Tao altar, he aimed at the entrance of the altar. It is a relatively large hole. So, the heaven-leaping shuttle passed through in a short while and smoothly entered the heavenly Tao altar. And the violent lightning in the sky is now crazily bombarding the heavenly Tao altar. From the outside, the heavenly Tao altar looks like a towering mountain. Although there are many huge mountains in the 10,000 Snake Mountain range, the heavenly Tao altar looks completely out of place. It is clear that it is not a mountain here. That swindler Tian Dao Zi brought the heavenly Tao altar here. He really helped me a bit. Ha ha ha. After Qin Yun sensed the threat the heaven-leaping shuttle is facing, he very happily laughed and said, "The passage to the heavenly Tao altar has been blocked. Only Shimen Dazhuang's shocked voice can be heard. Master, this is old uncle's heaven-leaping shuttle. Wasn't he struck by lightning before? This bastard." Even the normally calm and composed Tian Dao Zi, who talks like a swindler, cannot help but angrily curse in low voice. The lightning that attacked him is heavenly punishment. This guy provoked heavenly punishment again. Then will there be any problem with our heavenly Tao altar? Master, we should quickly leave. Shimen Dazhuang very anxiously said. There won't be any problem. Tian Dao Zi stroked his beard and groaned. I don't know what kind of heinous crime this guy committed to provoke such a powerful heavenly punishment. Shimen Dazhuang yelled. Old uncle, I am Dazhuang. Are you all right? You're not dead, are you? Qin Yun is currently refining Dragon Heavenly Rune. After hearing Shimen Dazhuang's voice, he endured the pain in his soul and unhappily said, Dazhuang, how can I die? I am refining something and attracted heavenly punishment. I will hide here for a bit and then leave. Shimen Dazhuang said with smile. Old uncle, you have divine universe golden stone, so many people are chasing you. Why don't you just stay here? Heavenly Tao altar is very powerful. He did not even finish speaking when Tian Dao Zi rushed over like an arrow, covered his mouth and cursed in low voice. Dazhuang, aren't you causing trouble for Master? We cannot let him stay here for long, otherwise the heavenly Tao altar will be destroyed. Master, don't worry. Old uncle won't destroy this heavenly Tao altar. I guarantee that old uncle will give me face. Shimen Dazhuang said with smile. I mean, it will be destroyed by other guys. Tian Dao Zi groaned and said, Dazhuang, how can you be so stupid? This guy is a star of calamity. Letting him stay here is just drawing fire to yourself. Qin Yun heard Tian Dao Zi's words and laughed loudly. Senior Tian Dao Zi, you are truly a good person. I will stay here for a few more years. Am I disturbing you? You have already disturbed me. If you can escape this time, you should quickly leave. Tian Dao Zi groaned and said. Senior Tian Dao Zi, Dazhuang asked me to stay. How can I have the nerve to leave? Qin Yun said with smile. From now on, he has successfully refined a dragon heavenly rune. The dragon heavenly rune projected by the Gemini treasure mirror shone on the Gemini heavenly rune and turned it into a dragon heavenly rune. The pain in Qin Yun's head also lessened by a lot. He stored the dragon heavenly rune and walked out of the heaven leaping shuttle. After storing the shuttle, he said with smile, "Senior Tian Dao Zi. Long time no see. I don't want to see you again." Tian Dao Zi groaned and said, "Young Master Qin, you have brought us a lot of trouble, I ask you to quickly leave." "Tian Dao Zi, can I stay here for a few days? I am in the middle of a very important matter. After I finish, I will be invincible under heaven," Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. "At that time I won't take refuge here. I am worried that if you stay here for a few days, the heavenly Tao altar will be destroyed. Young Master Qin, my strength is limited, please don't harm me." Tian Dao Zi very anxiously said. Qin Yun said, I will only stay for a few days." Tian Dao Zi cannot drive Qin Yun away because he knows that it will be very difficult to do so. He cursed a few times in his heart and said again, "Then tell me, how many days do you want to stay?" 100 days. Qin Yun said. He wants to create the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation here. This is called a few days? Tian Dao Zi somewhat angrily said, "Young Master Qin, don't tease me. 9 days? Is that okay?" Qin Yun curled his lips. "All right, after 9 days you must leave." Tian Dao Zi finished speaking, thought for a bit and added, "If the heavenly Tao altar is besieged, you must quickly leave." "All right," Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Many people saw Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle enter the heavenly Tao altar. Immortal Desolate and Outer Heaven Domains people know very little about the heavenly Tao altar. Especially Outer Heaven Domains people, they don't care too much about it. After learning that Qin Yun is inside the heavenly Tao altar, they immediately attack. Qin Yun has been inside the heaven-leaping shuttle all along. He has finally stopped running around. Now he is inside a huge strange mountain. This news circulated on the Devil Mirror for a while and then was deleted. However, all Outer Heaven Domains people know about this matter. Many formidable Outer Heaven Domains immortals immediately rushed towards the heavenly Tao altar. In just a short period of 1 hour, the heavenly Tao altar is surrounded by all kinds of strange-looking Outer Heaven Domains people, as well as all kinds of large and small odd-shaped flying immortal tools. The spectators in the distance also transmitted the scene here to the Magic Mirror platform, allowing many people to see the situation here. Inside the Heavenly Law altar, through the Devil Mirror, Qin Yun can see many huge pillars surrounding the Heavenly Law altar. These are all formidable formation pillars. They formed a barrier to trap Qin Yun. "Young Master Qin, we are finished." Tian Dao Zi is very worried. He knocked on the door of a stone room. Qin Yun is inside. "Senior Tian Dao Zi, don't worry, nothing will happen," Qin Yun said. Boom boom. The heavenly Tao altar is suddenly being attacked. Outer Heaven Domains people came from all direction. Some released frantic energy. Some released all kinds of weapons and immortal talisman tools. Some released energy balls from their flying immortal tools. Finished. Tian Dao Zi let out a long sigh. Qin Yun has rested enough. He immediately began refining the second dragon heavenly rune. He took out the Gemini treasure mirror and shined it on a Gemini heavenly rune bead. The attacks outside are becoming more and more frantic, but Qin Yun is very calm. "Senior, this heavenly Tao altar is not afraid of heavenly punishment lightning. Why are you afraid of those guys?" Qin Yun said with smile. "Of course heavenly Tao altar is not afraid of heavenly punishment power, but those guys' attacks can destroy it." Tian Dao Zi bitterly sighed outside the door. Chapter 1788. Inside the tomb, Tian Dao Zi was originally very worried, but after hearing Qin Yun's words, he relaxed a lot. but he still feels that this is inconceivable. He is very curious about what Qin Yun is doing to attract such formidable heavenly punishment. Uncle, how did you attract that damned heavenly punishment? Can you teach me? Shimin Dezhuang is also outside the door, he excitedly shouted. Tian Daozi immediately glared at him and shouted in low voice, Dezhuang, don't bring about your own destruction. You are not as tenacious as him, what if you die? Shimin Dezhuang curled his lips and said, Who said that? My life is very tenacious. I won't die, I will also learn how to attract heavenly punishment. You brat, why are you so disobedient? Tian Daozi is very worried. He is very worried that Shimin Dezhuang will learn heavenly punishment from Qin Yun. Tian Daozi doesn't know how Qin Yun attracted heavenly punishment, but he knows that it is very formidable. If he can't block it in time, he will very easily be killed. Dezhuang, this is not easy to learn, it is also very dangerous. If Senior Tian Daozi did not move the heavenly Dao altar here, I wouldn't even know how to hide. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Many thanks to Senior Tian Daozi for saving me. If I knew earlier, I wouldn't have come to this damned place. Tian Daozi mumbled a few words and then yelled. Is the heavenly punishment coming soon? The heavenly Dao altar can't hold on for much longer. Qin Yun said. It is coming soon, just wait patiently. Tian Daozi immediately pulled Shimin Dezhuang away. He is worried that Shimin Dezhuang will learn heavenly punishment from Qin Yun. Outside the heavenly law altar, there were many outer heavens attacking the heavenly law altar crazily. The heavenly Dao altar is like a huge mountain, it is very easy to hit from a distance, and the heavenly Dao altar is not as weak as Tian Daozi said, it still has some defensive power. Even after being attacked for a while, it is still completely fine. Qin Yun suddenly felt his soul aching. A very frantic energy wave suddenly appeared above the heavenly Dao altar. Rumble, an earth-shattering clap of thunder suddenly exploded, and a large amount of lightning poured down like a waterfall around the heavenly law altar, covering a large area with rustling sounds. The area within a radius of tens of thousands of meters around the altar of heaven was covered in lightning. The heavenly punishment that appeared this time was even more powerful. The main reason was that the heavenly punishment didn't punish Qin Yun. Not only did Qin Yun not repent, but he also continued to violate the laws of nature to refine an extremely rare dragon heavenly rune. Therefore, the heavenly punishment became even more violent than before. The large number of outer heavens near the heavenly Dao altar didn't expect such violent heavenly lightning to suddenly appear when they were attacking the heavenly Dao altar. In an instant, a large number of people from the outer heavens were struck by lightning. All kinds of tragic screams burst out at the same time. The surroundings of the heavenly law altar were like hell, with all kinds of screams coming out. What was terrifying was that a large number of outer heavens were either killed or seriously injured. The weaker outer heavens exploded as soon as they were struck by the lightning. Those with a bit of strength could only leave behind a relatively intact corpse. In the end, they would still be killed by the powerful heavenly lightning. Only a small number of people reacted and immediately blocked the heavenly lightning and then quickly fled the area covered by the lightning. So many powerful people from the outer heavens besieged the heavenly law altar. Just as they were about to break the heavenly law altar, lightning suddenly appeared and slaughtered the people from the outer heavens, causing countless casualties. A large amount of trash fell on the ground near the heavenly law altar. They are all flying immortal tools, weapons and all kinds of corpses. Tian Daozi looked through the magic mirror and shook his head. You reap what you sow, this is the result of opposing the heavenly Dao. Qin Yun released the nether spirit's sacred blade and circled around outside a few times, collecting all the remnant souls of the dead. These are very good sacrificial offerings. Now the entire immortal desolate is in an uproar. The strength of outer heavens is very strong, many experts in the immortal desolate can see it with their own eyes. But in a split second, a large number of them were killed by the lightning. The most shocking thing is that the lightning also chased after Qin Yun before. The sudden appearance of the lightning caused people to feel very bewildered. Could it be from the Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest? Most likely. Only Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest's lightning can be so dreadful. That guy Qin Yun, how did he attract Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest's lightning? I don't know. In short, it's better to stay away from that guy Qin Yun. It's too strange. Outer heavens have suffered heavy casualties this time. Everyone is discussing one after another. Although many outer heavens have died, they can still send reinforcements, because the divine universe golden stone is very precious. The heavenly law altar is not far from heartless immortal Venerable's tomb. No one dares to approach the heavenly law altar because it is being bombarded by a large amount of lightning. Everyone's attention shifted to heartless immortal Venerable's tomb. All kinds of fierce battles broke out outside the entrance of the tomb. The main reason is that many factions want to seize heartless immortal Venerable's tomb and obtain the things inside. Yu and the others did not participate in the battle, they are just watching from the side. Now, Heavenhorn Heavenly Domain's people have the upper hand. They and a few powerful allies have completely repelled the factions that challenged them. Heavenly Horn people, aren't you going to capture Qin Yun? That guy is inside that mountain. The divine universe golden stone he controls is better than heartless immortal Venerable's tomb. Immortal desolate sacred master's illusory voice came from the distance. We are not stupid. If Qin Yun was so easy to capture, we would have already captured him. There is no need to wait until now. An old heavenly horn person said with sneer. Whoever wants to capture him can capture him, but we are not going to capture Qin Yun for now. Earlier, because a group of people wanted to capture Qin Yun, they were killed by powerful heavenly thunder. The heavenly horn people have already gathered in front of heartless immortal Venerable's entrance. The entrance is a giant steel. If they want to enter the city-like tomb, they must move the giant steel away. This is not a problem for the formidable heavenly horn people. They gathered together and through the powerful heavenly horn above their head, they condensed a blood-red power. The heavenly horn above their head is originally red, now it is releasing blood-red energy, causing the large horn to flicker with red light. This kind of energy is completely bombarding the giant steel. The giant steel looks very sturdy, but now it is being pushed back by the red light beam shockwave. Hit it! The leader of the heavenly horn people shouted. All the red light beams suddenly concentrated on the top of the giant steel. As a result, the giant steel was also blasted down by the power. The giant steel fell down and a wave of energy rushed out. The people outside all shivered at the sight. Yu took out the devil mirror and sent a message to Qin Yun. She asked, Xiao Yun, the tomb has opened. Do you have any suggestions? Don't go in. Qin Yun said. You guys just watch from the side. If anything falls out, pick it up. Alright. Yu originally wanted to command this small team, but she did not expect that so many powerful people would suddenly appear. She can only watch from the side. Those few outer heaven domain powers added up to several hundred people. Now they are all filled with confidence, they are holding weapons and flying through the door. The energy inside is so dense, they are not afraid at all. The leader of the heavenly horn people continuously shot out red light beams from his head to open the way inside. Other people can only watch from the outside, they don't dare to go in. After all, this place was attacked by the heavenly horn people, only they can go in. Dragon race and other immortal desolate native powers are watching from the outside. Not long after, the great tomb suddenly shook. Waves of miserable screams came from inside. A large number of people suddenly ran out. The first to run out are the heavenly horn people. There are more than 100 heavenly horn people, but now less than 100 came out. A few of them had their horns chopped off. As for the other outer heaven domain powers, only half of them manage to come out. Most of them are seriously injured. Their injuries are very strange, their bodies are all distorted. For example, many people's faces are directly distorted and deformed. In addition, many parts of the body would also distort and become different from their original state. This power can turn a powerful body into soft mud and randomly twist and turn. The strength of the outer heaven domain people is extremely formidable. They must have many formidable defensive methods on their bodies. However, they are still seriously injured. This means that there is an extremely dreadful thing inside the great tomb. After all, this is emotionless immortal venerable's tomb. It is normal for there to be powerful things guarding it. As a result, no one dares to go in. There is something inside emotionless immortal venerable's tomb, but no one dares to go in. The door opened and dense energy rushed out with a whistling sound. Everyone stood at the door and looked. They can only see the thick black fog inside. They can't see the top. The entire great tomb is shrouded in black fog. There is a very powerful barrier covering the sky above the great tomb. No one can go down from above. They can only go in through the door. Of course, even if someone wants to go in, the heavenly horn people won't let them. The people of heaven horn felt that the great tomb belonged to them. As long as they are here, no one can go in. If they can't go in, they also won't allow others to go in. This is to prevent some powerful people from obtaining good things inside. In front of the door of emotionless immortal venerable's tomb, the heavenly horn people and the other outer heaven domain alliance have joined forces to guard the door. Dragon race, emperor race, dark royal race, nether sect, devil immortal, beyond heaven domain and Sien family people are watching from outside. Soon, several inscription aristocratic families also arrive. The most worrisome thing was that the sun hunters had actually come as well. While the entrance of the great tomb is very quiet, the violent thunder above the heavenly Tao altar suddenly dissipated. Qin Yun successfully refined another dragon heavenly rune. Although the violent thunder above the heavenly Tao altar has dissipated, no one immediately went over. Everyone is worried that the terrifying violent thunder will suddenly appear. Everyone here has seen this kind of violent thunder with their own eyes. Even now, they can still feel the remnant violent thunder aura in the air. It is filled with strong saint power. Qin Yun is hiding inside the heavenly Tao altar. Many people here want to capture him and skin him alive, but they don't dare to go over. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor said with smile, "Since no one can enter the great tomb, let's go capture Qin Yun." Chapter 1789. 9 dragons assemble. Qin Yun was not easy to capture. If he was easy to capture, it would not be their turn. Everyone knew that in the past few days, although many people from the outer heaven realms could see the sky-leaping shuttle, they could only see it from afar before it disappeared. They had tools that could sense the fluctuations coming from the divine universe Goldstone, so they knew where Qin Yun was. And Qin Yun can use the heaven-leaping shuttle to jump through space. Moreover, he can jump back and forth between Thunder Fog Heavenly Forest and 10,000 Snake Mountain Range. Actually, there are many immortal desolate people who are very dissatisfied with the outer heaven domain people. So they ridiculed the outer heaven domain people for coming all the way here just to play hide and seek with Qin Yun. Of course, there are also people who say that the people of the outer heavens are like monkeys being toyed with by Qin Yun. Seeing that the heavenly law altar was so quiet, some people from the outer heavens were tempted and wanted to go and take a look. They can all see that the heavenly law altar has very strong defensive power. There is only one hole. If they go over and seal the hole, then release a very strong spatial barrier, they can trap Qin Yun. Even the people of the Heaven Horn tribe were paying attention to the heaven altar. Immortal Sovereign Heartless tomb was guarded by something very powerful. They had just experienced it. Without absolute power, they wouldn't dare to enter again. Although there were many people watching the heavenly altar and Heartless Immortal Venerable's tomb, At this moment, it suddenly became incomparably quiet. Qin Yun is resting in a stone room inside the Heavenly Tao altar. He has successfully refined 2 dragon heavenly runes and is now missing 1 more to complete the 9 dragon heavenly runes. The gathering of the 9 dragons heavenly pattern meant that the 9 dragons heaven origin formation was not far away. While refining the dragon heavenly rune, Qin Yun's soul suffered a great deal of torment. Now he is resting and relaxing. 1 more soon. Qin Yun looked at the heavenly rune bead and chuckled. I will soon have the 9 dragons heavenly origin formation. Haha. Qin Yun had never personally experienced how powerful the 9 dragons heavenly origin array was. He had only heard of it from various legends. Whether it was the dragon clan or the imperial clans, they all needed this kind of formation very much. Even the darkness royalty envied the emperor clans for having the 9 dragons heaven formation. The reason why the dragon clan had such a strong deterrent power in the outer heaven domain was because of their 9 dragons heaven origin formation. While resting, Qin Yun took out the devil mirror to read the news. He had just learned about the Great Tomb. There is indeed a very powerful thing inside. Qin Yun said in shock. Luckily Sister Yu and the others did not go in, otherwise it would have been very dangerous. Xiao Yun, this heavenly law altar should not stay for long. Ling Yun said. I also feel that even though we are safe now, this is after all related to Heavenly Tao. If we provoke Heavenly Tao Z, he might even sacrifice me. Qin Yun said with smile. This mysterious Heavenly Tao altar truly caused Qin Yun to feel fear from the bottom of his heart. Inside this place, he has an indescribable feeling of fear. Young noble Qin, when are you leaving the Heavenly Law altar? Tian Dao Zi shouted from outside the stone room. Didn't you allow me to stay here for 9 days? Qin Yun replied. But now Heavenly Tao altar is being watched by many powerful people. You promised me that if Heavenly Tao altar is besieged, you will immediately leave. Tian Daozi is also worried that Qin Yun is causing trouble here. Heavenly Tao altar is not besieged. Even if they besieged it, it won't last long. Qin Yun said. Tian Daozi shook his head and said, No, now they are discussing whether or not they should attack Heavenly Tao altar. Young noble Qin, you should quickly leave. Staying here will be very disadvantageous for you. Shiman Dezhuang lightly groaned and said, Master, what's wrong with letting this old uncle stay for a few days? I want to learn from him how to attract heavenly punishment. Dezhuang, I told you not to think about that, it is very dangerous. Tian Daozi very angrily said, You are my disciple, you are a disciple of Heavenly Tao. If you attract heavenly punishment, it will trigger the wrath of Heavenly Tao and the heavenly punishment will be even stronger. Qin Yun rested for a while, and then continued refining Dragon Heavenly Rune. Only 1 more left. So long as he finishes refining this last one, he can start researching how to set up the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin formation. Not long after Qin Yun started, the Heavenly Tao altar suddenly started shaking. The spectators from the Heavenly Tao altar let out a burst of cry of alarm. Because a heaven horn person suddenly rushed towards the Heavenly Tao altar and used his 1/2 meter long horn to ram against the wall of the Heavenly Tao altar. A loud bang resounded. The Heavenly Tao altar shook and many stones flew out. After the heaven horn person rammed against the Heavenly Tao altar, he failed and immediately retreated. He is worried that the Heavenly Tao altar will counterattack. Next round. An old heaven horn person suddenly shouted. This time there are 3 heaven horn people. After they rushed out, they rammed their heads against the wall of the Heavenly Tao altar. They used very fast speed and in the blink of an eye flew several 10,000 meters away. The 3 people of the heaven horn created a hole in the mountain wall after hitting it. After they rammed against the wall, they immediately retreated. The heaven horn people are finally attacking the Heavenly Tao altar. They know that Qin Yun is very difficult to capture, but since he is hiding inside the Heavenly Tao altar, he must have run into some trouble. Therefore, they feel that this is a good opportunity to capture Qin Yun. There is an entrance to the Heavenly Tao altar, but they don't want to go in directly because there are likely to be ambushes there. So they want to drill through the entrance and go inside. Qin Yun also knows that the Heavenly Tao altar is under attack again. He immediately said to Tian Daozi, "Senior Tian Daozi, don't worry, heavenly punishment will arrive very soon." "What? You can attract heavenly punishment? What the hell are you doing?" Tian Daozi yelled in shock. "Senior Tian Daozi, don't tell me you don't know what I am doing? You are Tian Daozi. How could you not know what I am doing to provoke heavenly punishment?" Qin Yun said with smile. "How the hell do I know? In short, you are always going against the heavens. Little brother, you should give up. You must follow the heavens, don't always think of going against the heavens." Tian Daozi shook his head and said, "Senior Tian Daozi, I am refining heavenly runes. What kind of behavior is this?" Qin Yun said with smile. "Refining heavenly runes?" Tian Daozi cried out in alarm. "You are refining heavenly runes? Heavenly runes are runes of the heavens, they are born from the Heavenly Tao. All the heavenly runes in the heaven and earth are naturally born from the Heavenly Tao. You can refine heavenly runes, this is disgraceful and heresy." "How is it disgraceful and heresy? I have already refined two," Qin Yun said with smile. This is something done by the heavens, humans can't do it. If humans do it, don't they consider themselves to be the heavens? You are a human, you are not the heavens. You consider yourself to be the heavens, no wonder you are being punished by the heavens." Tian Daozi shook his head and said, "Qin Yun truly doesn't know what kind of ghost this Tian Daozi is. He is always babbling on and on like a swindler. But why am I not dead?" Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. "I have been punished by the heavens many times, but I am not dead. Ah! The heavens can do nothing to me." "Little brother, the heavens are merciful, that is why they did not exterminate you. You should thank the heavens," Tian Daozi said. "I don't believe that the heavens are merciful. Just now the heavenly punishment released violent thunder and killed many people. How is this merciful?" Qin Yun said with smile. "Senior Tian Daozi, just admit it, the heavens can't kill me. Enemy of Heavenly Tao, enemy of Heavenly Tao." Tian Daozi repeatedly shook his head, then left with his hands behind his back. Sure enough, violent thunder and lightning suddenly appeared in the sky. The heavenly punishment arrived again. This time it is much stronger than the previous two times. Even though Qin Yun is inside the Heavenly Tao altar, he can still sense the dreadful heavenly might. "Each time it is stronger than the last?" Qin Yun said with frown. "That means the next time I refine a heavenly rune, the might of the heavenly punishment will be even stronger. If I don't have the Heavenly Tao altar, I won't be able to block it. It should be so. Next time you refine a heavenly rune, it would be best if you hide inside the Heavenly Tao altar." Ling Yuner chuckled and said, "This Tian Daozi can't do anything to you." Qin Yun said, "Maybe the Heavenly Tao altar is specially used to refine this kind of heaven-defying thing. Otherwise, I really can't think of any use for the Heavenly Tao altar." Ling Yuner said with smile, "Maybe it was created for you." The people outside also cursed Qin Yun for being evil. Especially the people from the outer heaven domain, they now know that there is a very powerful force looking after Qin Yun. The Devil Mirror also spread the news that the violent heavenly thunder is heavenly punishment. Qin Yun did something that angered the Heavenly Tao, so he suffered the heavenly punishment. Everyone is very shocked. What exactly did Qin Yun do to provoke the wrath of the heavens? Yu Yu is somewhat worried. She knows that Qin Yun is refining a heavenly rune. Moreover, the method of using it is very simple, it is simply intolerable by the heavens. If he used normal inscription methods to carve a heavenly rune, it would not be a big deal. Some formidable heavenly inscription masters could do it, but it would take a very long time, hundreds, thousands or even tens of thousands of years. However, Qin Yun directly used the Gemini treasure mirror and Gemini heavenly rune to carve it. It only caused soul pain, and the time it took was very short. Not long after, Qin Yun finally finished the last dragon heavenly rune. It's all done. Qin Yun laughed loudly. The Heaven Horn people don't dare to continue attacking the heavenly Tao altar because they don't know when the heavenly punishment will come again. Qin Yun rested for a while, then walked out of the stone room and arrived at the spacious passage. He took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and teleported to the main control room. Senior Tian Daozi, I will be leaving now. Sorry for disturbing you. I will come visit you again when I have time. Goodbye. Qin Yun said with smile. I won't see you. Tian Daozi groaned in low voice. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew out. The heaven-leaping shuttle has appeared. Everyone staring at the heavenly Tao altar burst into cry. Qin Yun took out the devil mirror and contacted Yu Yu. Sister Yu Yu, go to the entrance of the great tomb by yourself. My heaven-leaping shuttle will fly over and pick you up. We will enter the great tomb together. Alright. Yu Yu is pleasantly surprised and immediately agreed. Then she informed the little black donkey and others and rushed towards the entrance. At the same time, Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and arrived at the entrance of the great tomb in a blink of an eye. He brought Yu Yu to the main control room. Stop him! The old heaven horn person shouted. Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle entered the entrance and disappeared into the dense, eerie black fog. Everyone burst into an uproar. Qin Yun came out from the heavenly Tao altar and directly entered emotionless, immortal Venerable's great tomb. If Qin Yun obtained the good things inside, wouldn't he be invincible? Chapter 1790. Tomb City White Light. Qin Yun knows that there are very powerful things inside the tomb, but he is not afraid because the heaven-leaping shuttle's defense is very strong. It can withstand the attacks of those mysterious and powerful things. After entering the tomb, Qin Yun suddenly sensed that the heaven-leaping shuttle has an unusual reaction. It is slightly trembling and emitting a burst of weak, buzzing sound. Xiao Yun, what's wrong? Is there danger approaching? Yu Yu is holding a sharp saber. She is already prepared to attack. She said solemnly, Let me out, I want to see how strong those things are. There's no danger approaching for the time being. This is a kind of warning from the heaven-leaping shuttle. We have entered a very powerful spatial barrier. The heaven-leaping shuttle can't jump through space here. Qin Yun said. There's a powerful spatial barrier here. Could it be that it wants to seal something? Yu Yu said in shock. Is it to seal emotionless immortal venerable? Or is it something else? Qin Yun shook his head. I don't know. In short, we haven't encountered those dangerous things yet. Previously, he saw it on the magic mirror. After the outer heaven domain people entered the tomb, they were attacked by some monsters and their bodies became distorted in a strange and scary manner. The monsters in the great tomb possessed a very powerful and strange power. As for what the monsters inside the tomb are like, those powerful outer heaven domain people did not see it clearly. They only know that after entering the pitch-black tomb, they suffered heavy casualties. The heaven-leaping shuttle's outer appearance is a jade-white gourd. It is a few meters long and can be considered quite big. Under Qin Yun's control, it released waves of white light that illuminated this incomparably dark place. Qin Yun and Yu Yu can see the situation outside from the control room inside the heaven-leaping shuttle. Although the heaven-leaping shuttle can't jump through space, it can fly and release intense white light that illuminated all directions. There are many corpses on the ground. Those corpses are all kinds of outer heaven domain people. They are all the people who were killed after entering here. The corpses are dry, as if something has sucked out all the energy in their bodies, causing them to shrivel up and turn black. The most frightening thing is that the corpses are all twisted into a ball. Generally speaking, even if one's body is extremely powerful, being twisted into a ball like this would cause their bones and flesh to shatter. However, the corpses of the outer heavens were not like this. The corpses were like soft mud, twisted into the shape of fried dough twists or rolled into a ball, but their flesh and bones were not broken. What kind of strange power is this? Yu's scalp turned numb and she said in shock, "Those guys from the outer heaven domain are all very strong. To think that there are so many casualties all of a sudden," Qin Yun said with a frown. "I heard that the things sealed by the sun's sacred land are very difficult to kill. Could it be that what is sealed here is not heartless immortal venerable, but something else?" "It's possible." Yu's expression is solemn as she nodded. "If we let that mysterious monster escape and we can't kill it, many living beings in the immortal desolate will definitely be killed." Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to fly quickly. He wanted to find the monster, but he did not find it. This was indeed a city, and the heaven-leaping shuttle was currently hovering on one of the street. There were many buildings and shops on both sides of the street, but they were very empty. What caused Qin Yun to be astonished is that the buildings inside are extremely well preserved. There is no sign of damage. Although the city is filled with all kinds of eerie black fog, the inside of the city is very clean and tidy. The buildings are very new, as if it was built not long ago. Strange, this is not a tomb at all. After Yu saw the situation outside, she took out her magic mirror and recorded everything she saw. Originally, she wanted to send it out but discovered that she can't contact the outside world. There is a very strong spatial barrier here. It's impossible to communicate with the space outside. Qin Yun said. "But, the people from the outer heaven domain came in before. Can they go out?" Yu doubtfully said. "Could it be that the things sealed in this tomb can't go out?" Previously, there were indeed many people from the outer heaven domain who came in, but they immediately went out. Qin Yun said. "The barrier should be targeted, it doesn't allow certain things to go out." Yu sat down and asked, "Xiao Yun, what are you going to do next? How are the preparations for your 9-dragon heavenly origin formation?" 9 different dragon heavenly runes are needed to set up the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. I have already gathered them all. Next, I need to research how to set up the formation, Qin Yun said with smile. The 9 dragons heavenly origin formation is so complicated. How did you manage to create it? It's not like you've seen it before and you don't have any memories of your past life. Yu sighed lightly. It's not that I haven't seen the 9 dragons heaven origin formation, it's just that I haven't seen the real one. Qin Yun smiled. Back when he was in the Spirit Desolate, he encountered the 9 dragons heavenly origin formation underneath the Dragon King Manor. The 9 dragons heavenly origin formation was made from 9 types of dragon totems, so it could only be considered a minor 9 dragons heavenly origin formation. Although it wasn't the real 9 dragons heavenly origin formation, Qin Yun felt that it was definitely an imitation. Furthermore, he knows Li Longxian from the inscription world. Li Longxian had once asked him to repair a dragon totem that could transform into a dragon. It was carved on a stone slab. Qin Yun suspected that it might be the damaged 9-dragon heavenly origin array. He saw the 9 dragons heavenly origin formation in the Dragon King Manor. The dragon totem was carved on the stone tablet. Therefore, he believes that the real 9 dragons heavenly origin formation should also be formed by 9 stone tablet. Not only does it need dragon heavenly runes, it also needs a dragon totem. Back then, Mo recorded the minor 9 dragons heavenly origin formation. Later on, Qin Yun often discussed it with Mo, so he has a very deep impression of it. In fact, there are many similar minor 9 dragons heavenly origin formation. They all imitate the layout of the real Nine Dragons' heavenly origin formation. I believe that you will definitely be able to create the Nine Dragons' heavenly origin formation, Yu said with smile. Wait until I'm sure if this place is safe or not, then I'll start. Qin Yun said, those monsters don't seem to be attacking the heaven-leaping shuttle. We've been here for so long and it's still so quiet. There shouldn't be any danger. Yu said, I wonder if emotionless immortal venerable is really here? I feel that he shouldn't be dead. It's not easy for such a powerful existence to die. Qin Yun said, the Pring Hantao he knows has lived for a few epochs. After the heaven-leaping shuttle flew one round and passed through many streets, it still didn't find anything else. No monsters came to attack the heaven-leaping shuttle. Finally, the heaven-leaping shuttle entered a relatively large palace. The door of the palace is open. Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle entered the spacious palace hall and landed on the ground. I'm going to start. Qin Yun took out the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Do you need my help? Yu said with smile. And I want to carve runes. You guys refine the formation steel. Qin Yun smiled and then released Zi Qingqing, Shui Tianzi and the others. Qin Yun took out the small black bottle. It is filled with sacred oil. Yu and the others also know how to use sacred oil to release intense sacred flame. Qin Yun took out many dragon bones. They are all divine dragon bones. He only planned to add a bit of divine dragon bones into the dragon rune steel. The rest are mainly sacred tier materials. After all, he doesn't have a strong enough divine flame. It won't be easy to smelt divine dragon bones unless he has the help of a star god. But in this kind of environment, he doesn't have the conditions to ask a star god for help. Qin Yun feels that sacred tier materials are enough to refine the dragon rune steel. In the future, he will have the opportunity to strengthen it. In any case, those dragon heavenly runes can be taken out. Zi Qingqing and the others are quite proficient in refining formation and tool refining materials. Formation pillars, formation steel, formation flags and so on, they can refine them according to Qin Yun's requirement. This way, Qin Yun can properly organize the runes needed for the Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation and the coordination between them while they are refining the formation steel. The Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation should need a lot of energy source. Should the energy source be internal or external? Qin Yun is considering. The internal energy source is the space left behind in the formation steel to store the energy source. If it is external, the great formation will absorb the energy from the outside. For example, if Qin Yun placed the Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, he can share the energy source with the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Isn't it fine as long as there are internal and external interfaces? Ling Yun said with smile. If the conditions permit, we can use external energy. If we use it inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle or floating cloud pagoda, we can use external energy. Qin Yun nodded and said, if we use it outside in some special situation, we can use the internal energy source, but the refining process will be more complicated. But it's convenient. Ling Yun said, in any case, we can only make the Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation once in a very long time. Let's do it in one go, so that we don't have to do it all over again in the future. Qin Yun also adopted Ling Yun's suggestion and began to conceive the overall layout and then draw the blueprint. The Heaven Leaping Shuttle is inside a large hall. The surroundings are very quiet. Qin Yun and the others are very seriously refining the formation steel needed for the Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation. Outside the Tomb City, many people are also waiting for the situation inside. They all believe that Qin Yun encountered a powerful monster and will come out very quickly. But after waiting for a long time, they still haven't seen Qin Yun come out. And Qin Yun's friends also tried to contact him through the magic mirror, but none of them could contact him. This made them very worried. The Tomb City is very quiet. The energy that floated out of the open gate also slowed down a lot. Night time. The pitch-black tomb city suddenly flashed with white light. The walls of the entire city were originally pitch black. However, at night they were filled with white light. This is also the situation that appeared after the tombstone that looked like a gate was pushed down. "Can we go in?" someone said in surprise. "Quickly go in and take a look." The first to go in is the people of Heavenhorn. There weren't many of them, only 2. Both of them were experts wearing thick armor. Not long after they went in, they heard a scream and hurriedly retreated. There is someone inside," shouted a middle-aged man. The thick armor on his body had completely shattered, and his body had also been blasted apart. "Who is it?" an old man of Heavenhorn hurriedly asked. Chapter 1791. Heavenly Monster. The huge tomb suddenly released white light in the night, illuminating the inside of the tomb city. Inside the city, a very powerful short old man has appeared. Everyone gasped when they saw the 2 heavily injured people of the Heavenhorn tribe. Heavenhorn people are more than 3 meters tall, their bodies are also very strong, therefore they wear very thick heavy armor. Their defense is also very strong. However, it was smashed by an old man's fist. Not to mention that their extremely strong defense heavy armor was smashed, their bodies were also cracked. These are 2 very powerful immortal emperors. Even powerful immortal emperors from other heaven domains or immortal desolate would not be able to injure these 2 heavily armored Heavenhorn people. Did you see what that old man looks like? What is the attribute of the power he used? The old Heavenhorn person asked. The other Heavenhorn people are healing the 2 injured people. I didn't see clearly, I only know that it is a short old man with a head full of white hair. I saw him in the distance. He instantly flew over and punched me, then the old man disappeared. The injured Heavenhorn person said. I also didn't see clearly, the power he used is very strong, it doesn't seem to have any attribute aura, it seems like he used body power to injure us, the injured Heavenhorn person said. Everyone nearby was shocked when they heard this. Just body power alone can injure them. It can be seen how powerful this mysterious old man is. The old Heavenhorn person's expression gradually became serious. He looked at the door and shouted, "Who is inside? Stop hiding, come out quickly! Outer heaven domain weaklings, if I go out, what can you do?" An aged voice came from the door. It has a very merciless and cold tone. Just from the voice, one can feel that this person does not have a trace of emotion. The people outside quickly retreated. Everyone was endlessly shocked because they felt that the old man inside seemed to be the legendary Heartless Immortal Sovereign. Heartless Immortal Venerable is not dead. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor said in shock. Heartless Immortal Venerable is not only alive, his condition is also very good. What is going on? Heartless Immortal Venerable is not dead, then what is he doing here? You even made some emotionless, immortal exalted, immortal's tomb. An Emperor Clan Elder was also extremely shocked. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor looked at an old man and said, "Old Pring, you are from the ancient era. You should know Heartless Immortal Venerable very well, right?" Heartless Immortal Venerable was someone from the last epoch. Those people from the ancient epoch definitely knew Heartless Immortal Venerable. Old Pung was from the ancient epoch's Pung clan. He was Pung Hantao's elder. The old man stroked his long beard and said with a faint smile, "I do know you, but I'm afraid that Heartless Immortal Venerable has already forgotten about me." Red Sun Dragon Mother smiled and said, "Why don't you go over and roar?" Old Pung smiled, walked over and shouted, "Heartless Sect Master, I'm Pung Huxiong of the Pung family. We once joined forces and repelled Outer Heaven Realm people, do you remember?" "I remember. Brother Pung, because of some reasons, I can't leave this city and can't meet you, please forgive me," Venerable Heartless said. Everyone immediately looked at Peng Huxiong with admiration. There was actually someone who knew the heartless immortal venerable, and he even joined forces with the heartless immortal venerable to repel the enemy. The strength of this ancient epic person is once again shocking. Peng Huxiong frowned and said, "Heartless sect master, do you need my help?" Heartless immortal venerable sighed and said, "No need. You must not come in, there are many powerful heavenly monsters sealed here. They are not something you can deal with." Heavenly monster. These two words caused the hair of these powerful immortal emperors to stand on end. They are not unfamiliar with heavenly monsters, but they have rarely heard others mention them. The reason why they know about heavenly monsters is because they have read about them in ancient books. Legend has it that after seeing through the heavenly Tao, they stole the power of heavenly Tao and cultivated into a monster. They control an extremely powerful heavenly Tao power. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor exclaimed, "No wonder Tian Dao Zi is here." Tian Dao Zi and the heavenly Tao altar came. It seems like they are also here for the heavenly monsters. The little black donkey is very worried and said in low voice, "Big brother Azure Dragon, heavenly monsters are very powerful and they like to eat inscription beasts. I wonder how Boss is doing inside." "Don't be afraid, Boss Qin will be fine." Azure Dragon patted the little black donkey's head and said with smile, "He is very powerful." Bai Zhe said, "Luckily we didn't go in, otherwise we would have been eaten by the heavenly monsters." A heavenly rune dragon said, "Heavenly monsters don't like to eat people, they only like to eat inscription beasts. Because the runes we are born with are a kind of heavenly Tao power." The little black donkey said with smile, "You inscription beasts with heavenly runes are the ones that heavenly monsters like the most, you must be careful. I really didn't expect that there would be heavenly monsters sealed here." He Shu exclaimed in admiration, "Is heartless immortal venerable inside to kill heavenly monsters?" At this time, the devil mirror is also crazily spreading the matter of heavenly monsters. Qin Yun's friends are all deeply worried. Because after Qin Yun entered the tomb city, there was no news of him, and there are heavenly monsters inside. Everyone has seen the power of heavenly monsters before. A large group of powerful outer heaven domain people entered and more than half of them died. Because Peng Huxiong is too shocked, it took him a long time before he shouted, "Heartless sect master, are you alright inside? How many heavenly monsters are there?" "Around 1,000. In all these years, I have only killed 100 or so. If I can't kill these guys, I can't go out." Heartless Immortal Venerable said, "If you are not afraid of death, you can come in and take a look at those heavenly monsters. Of course, you need to have enough strength to see those heavenly monsters." The group of outer heaven domain people are all scared to the point of shivering. Red Sun Dragon Mother said in shock, "Heartless Immortal Venerable truly lives up to his reputation. The heavenly monsters are so powerful, Heartless Immortal Venerable alone fought against them. Not only has he not been killed for many years, he can even kill more than 100 heavenly monsters. This kind of strength is indeed very terrifying. No wonder he was able to repel a large number of outer heaven domain people who attacked the Immortal Desolate back then." "Senior, have you ever seen a large gourd fly in?" Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor asked. He also wants to know Qin Yun's current situation. "I know something came in, but I didn't pay attention to where it went. That thing is very special, heavenly monsters are not interested in it." Heartless Immortal Venerable replied. The Dark Royal Race's Immortal Emperor shouted, "That gourd is a very powerful divine tool. There is a guy hiding inside. He has the divine universe golden stone." The Sun Hunter Race's Immortal Emperor also said loudly, "Senior Heartless, that guy's name is Qin Yun. He is a very cunning and despicable guy. You must not let the divine universe golden stone fall into his hands, otherwise there will be endless troubles in the future." "Don't listen to their nonsense," Peng Huxiong said. "Qin Yun is my youngest son's friend. His character is very good. Peng Huxiong is Peng Hantao's father. After Peng Hantao lost to Qin Yun, he also mentioned Qin Yun to his father. I don't care about these things. The divine universe golden stone is a great ominous object. Whoever wants it can come in. After heartless immortal venerable finished speaking, a whistling sound suddenly came from the city. That kind of whistling sound made one's hair stand on end. It was very scary. Just from the sound one can feel fear. Boom boom. Tremors spread out, an intense battle broke out in the city. Clearly, heartless immortal venerable and the heavenly monsters are fighting. Peng Huxiong shouted, Sect Master Heartless, do you need help? No need. These heavenly monsters are very strong. Without a strong enough body, it will be difficult to deal with them. Heartless immortal venerable shouted. The sound of battle is also getting further and further away. It is unknown if heartless immortal venerable is being chased or if he is chasing the heavenly monsters. Everyone looked at the tomb city that emitted white light in the night and felt that it was mysterious and terrifying. They are all very worried that the heavenly monsters in the city would run out. Qin Yun is in the tomb city and heartless immortal venerable is not dead. The people who came here either came for Qin Yun or for heartless immortal venerable's funerary items. Heartless immortal venerable is not dead and his strength is still very strong. Who would dare to have any ideas about him? Only Qin Yun. However, after Qin Yun entered, he was not attacked by the heavenly monsters. The most dangerous place is also the safest place. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor said, that brat Qin Yun should be able to hide inside for a period of time. Peng Huxiong's expression is solemn, he said. We have to prepare for the worst. Imperial Race's elder Long said with a frown, Why do you say that? Red Sun Dragon Mother said, The heavenly monsters might run out. Or perhaps, there are many heavenly monsters sealed in this 10,000 Snake Mountain range, but they just haven't appeared yet. This is the Sun's sacred land, it contains a large amount of sun power. And that sun power is used to maintain the operation of all kinds of seals here. If they encounter any unforeseen event and the seal power is not strong enough, the heavenly monsters will run out. The Outer Heaven Domain people left the 10,000 Snake Mountain range, one after another. They want to go back and gather their troops. Heartless Immortal Venerable is not dead, they want revenge. Furthermore, they will never give up on the Divine Universe Golden Stone. The Outer Heaven Domain people more or less understand the approximate strength of the Immortal Desolate. As long as the Immortal Desolate doesn't have someone like Heartless Immortal Venerable, the Outer Heaven Domain people can occupy a place in the Immortal Desolate and even divide up the Immortal Desolate. Qin Yun is inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, while drawing the diagram. He is also thinking about how to combine the 9-dragon heavenly runes with the 9-dragon totem. As long as they are perfectly fused together, he will be able to create the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Qin Yun and you don't know about the heavenly monsters, and their friends are sending messages to their devil mirror, but they are unable to receive them. Beautiful Heavenly G, release some small spiders to investigate the situation outside. Qin Yun suddenly said, I feel that it is too quiet outside, it is somewhat abnormal. Long Tianji is a poison dragon spider, but she did not release small poison dragon spiders. Instead, she released small dragons with very strong drilling power. These small dragons are 1/2 meter long and very fast. After they were released, lightning flashed and all of them disappeared without a trace. Not long after, Long Tianji shouted, Master, more than half of my lightning dragons died. What killed them? Qin Yun said in shock. How come so many died? Chapter 1792. Immortal Venerable's mission. The lightning dragons Long Tianji released are very fast, they ran far away in the blink of an eye. The lightning dragons want to get far away from the heaven leaping shuttle to avoid attracting those formidable things. Not long after, Long Tianji yelled again, "My lightning dragons are all dead." Just as she was about to release more, Qin Yun promptly yelled, "Tianji, don't release any more. There will only be more deaths." The death of the lightning dragons will also consume Long Tianji's vitality. "It doesn't matter, this time I must see those things clearly," Long Tianji said, then closed her eyes and released several hundred lightning dragons again. Qin Yun can only send those lightning dragons outside. After those lightning dragons came out, they immediately flew everywhere. Not long after, Long Tianji frowned. It can be seen that many of her lightning dragons died. "I saw those things, but my lightning dragons are all dead." After Long Tianji finished speaking, she released a lightning dragon. That lightning dragon's eyes shot out 2 rays of light and an image appeared in the sky above the main control room. It is the scene that Long Tianji's lightning dragons saw. Yu, Shui Tianzi and the others are also looking at the image in the sky. It is very bright outside. White beasts the size of cows can be seen on the street. The heads of these beasts look like huge red flowers full of sharp teeth. They have no eyes or nose, their bodies are white and their heads are big flower-like mouth. These things are very fast. They suddenly appeared and froze the lightning dragons. Then the man-eating flower-like mouths bit and swallowed the lightning dragons. After eating the lightning dragons, the monster's body suddenly became transparent. "What is this thing?" Qin Yun inhaled a mouthful of air and said in amazement, "Outer Heaven Domain people were killed by these things? But they didn't eat the bodies of Outer Heaven Domain people. Could it be that Outer Heaven Domain people's meat is not tasty?" Yu said with frown, "But there are only so many lightning dragons, what's so good about them? They only absorbed the energy of Outer Heaven Domain people's bodies, they didn't eat their meat." Long Tianji said because she also saw many shriveled corpses of Outer Heaven Domain people. Qin Yun said, "Maybe these things only like eating beasts." Yu nodded and said, "These monsters should be able to tell what is delicious and what is not. If they can turn invisible, then they must have discovered us." "They didn't attack the heaven-leaping shuttle because it can't be eaten?" Qin Yun said, "If that's the case, I can release a puppet to take a look." He also had some puppets in his hands, all of them refined from immortal iron or holy iron. They didn't have the aura of flesh and blood, and were a type of puppets that did odd jobs. The Iron Man-like puppets are also controlled by Long Tianji. Because she released many small lightning dragons earlier, she is very familiar with the terrain of the Tomb City. The connection between her and the puppets was made through spiritual wave. In the Tomb City, it was impossible to use spatial sensing from afar. No attack. Long Tianji charmingly smiled and said, "Master, your puppets are more useful than the small lightning dragon." "That's because we're in Tomb City. In other places, puppets are not as good as small lightning dragons." Qin Yun said with smile, "Properly investigate this city, tell me if you find anything." Long Tianji nodded her head, then earnestly went to explore the Tomb City. Qin Yun continued drawing his blueprint. Less than half a day later, Long Tianji suddenly yelled. One of the puppets was destroyed. It was destroyed by a short and small old man. Qin Yun said in amazement, "A short and small old man? A human?" Long Tianji nodded and said, "A human. A very powerful human. Humans who can wander around here must be very powerful." The short and small old man Long Tianji discovered is precisely that heartless immortal venerable. Not long after, Long Tianji said again, "I saw that short and small old man, he didn't attack this time." Yu said, "Talk to him, ask him who he is." Long Tianji nodded her head, then projected the scene of the puppet through a pearl in her hand into the main control room so that Qin Yun and Yu can see it. The old man was indeed very short. He looked like a child about 10 years old. He wore a set of white clothes, had curly white hair, and had a goatee. The old man slowly walked towards the puppet with his hands behind his back. "Puppet? I haven't seen this kind of thing for a long time." The old man's voice can also be heard by Qin Yun and others. Although the voice has a trace of lamentation, it gives people a very strange feeling. It is as if this person has no nostalgia for anything. Senior, I am Qin Yun. Why did you attack my puppet just now? Qin Yun asked. His voice can be transmitted to the old man through the puppet. Qin Yun? You are the Qin Yun that Brother Pring mentioned? They said you have Divine Universe Golden Stone. The old man said, I just saw something just now, so I casually attacked it. I thought it was a heavenly monster. Yu is immediately shocked. She looked at Qin Yun with slight fear and said in low voice, Xiao Yun, the monsters that I saw before that can become invisible are heavenly monsters. What the hell is this? Qin Yun asked. Heavenly monsters are very scary. It is said that some people used evil methods to pry into the heavenly Tao and obtained the power of the heavenly Tao to transform into monsters. Yu said, I am heartless immortal venerable. I am here to clean up the heavenly monsters in the immortal desolate. I accidentally broke your puppet just now. I am truly sorry. Heartless immortal venerable said. Qin Yun and the others looked at each other in shock. They actually saw Heartless Immortal Venerable. This Heartless Immortal Venerable is in charge of cleaning up the heavenly monsters. I have long heard of Senior's great name. If that puppet is broken, then it's broken. It doesn't matter. After Qin Yun recovered from his shock, he quickly said, Senior, you are here to clean up the heavenly monsters? We all thought you were dead. I am no different from dead. Heartless Immortal Venerable said indifferently, I won't disturb you anymore. I will continue chasing after the heavenly monsters. With that, Heartless Immortal Venerable disappeared in an instant. Yu said, Heavenly monsters are very difficult to kill. The reason why Heartless Immortal Venerable was sealed here is probably to kill them. After so many years, he still hasn't finished killing the heavenly monsters here. What kind of power do those heavenly monsters possess? Qin Yun suddenly became very interested and said with a smile, If only I could control those heavenly monsters. They would definitely be very powerful. Yu shook her head and said, Xiao Yun, don't even think about that. Heavenly monsters are very dangerous. It's just that I have never faced them before, so I don't know how terrifying they are. Long Tianji said, Master, it seems like there isn't anything good in this tomb city. Should I continue to investigate? Continue to investigate and find the corpses of the heavenly monsters. Qin Yun said, I want to see why these things are so powerful. Heartless Immortal Venerable has been in this tomb city for an era, but he still hasn't completed the mission. It can be seen how terrifying those heavenly monsters are. 1 month passed by. During this period of time, the Immortal Desolate has been very calm. Because there is no news about Qin Yun. They only know that he entered the tomb city, and still hasn't come out. The Devil Mirror in the Immortal Desolate is spreading the news that more and more people from the Outer Heaven Realm are arriving in the Immortal Desolate. And the Dark Royal Race, Emperor Race, as well as the experts of the Ancient Era, all went to negotiate with the big shots of the Outer Heaven Realm, requesting them not to act presumptuously in the Immortal Desolate. Especially the Emperor Race. They also publicly declared that if there are people from the Outer Heaven Realm killing innocent people in the Immortal Desolate, their Emperor Race will intervene. Ancient Era Powers, Immortal Desolate Holy Palace, Dragon Race, Nether Sect and many other powers all expressed their support for the Emperor Race. Immortal Desolate is very chaotic now, it needs some order. Otherwise, killing will happen everywhere, it will not be good for Immortal Desolate. Inside the tomb city, Qin Yun looked at the 9 3-meter-tall golden stone steels and nodded his head. Very good. At the top of the steels, there is a mighty dragon head that can spurt out energy. On both sides of the steels, there are small soaring dragon carvings. Qin Yun took out the 9 heavenly rune beads, released the dragon heavenly rune inside them, and placed them inside the dragon heavenly rune. That is also the core of each dragon steel. The dragon totem is connected to the dragon heavenly rune at the center. And inside the dragon steel, there is a very large storage space. It is used to store energy sources. Now there are a large amount of sacred mysterious silver crystals inside. Zi Qingqing and others have been busy for more than a month. Now they are very tired and entered the 9 Sun Divine Soul to rest. Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian have also been refining Gemini Heavenly Rune for the past few days. Qin Yun feels that they are very heaven-defying. They can continuously refine Gemini Heavenly Rune without suffering heavenly punishment. In this period of time, they managed to refine 10 Gemini Heavenly Runes for Qin Yun. Next is to carve runes. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle and took a few deep breaths. Dragon Transformation 9 Dragon Totem? This is not difficult. He released the needle spirit from the nether moon and sent it into the floating cloud divine needle. Then he began seriously carving the Dragon Transformation 9 Dragon Totem. Xiao Yun, you have a lot of inscription spirits. Yu Yu said with smile. If other inscription masters find out, they will surely be very jealous. I only use 2 types of inscription spirits now, Beast King inscription spirit and Totem inscription spirit. Qin Yun said. I heard that by releasing inscription spirit form, the precision will be even higher. Yu Yu said. Can you release Beast King and Totem inscription spirit form? Qin Yun shook his head. I temporarily can't. When he fought against Peng Hantao in the inscription Do Master competition, he saw the Thunder God inscription spirit form. Later on, he also tried to release the inscription spirit form he mastered but to no avail. He suspects that his inscription spirit is not innate, so he can't release its form. This is also the direction he will have to work hard in the future. Because time is not tight, Qin Yun's carving is rather slow. After half a day, his heaven-leaping shuttle suddenly trembled. Someone is here. Yu Yu looked up in shock. Something landed on the top of the heaven-leaping shuttle. It can be seen from the main control room. It is a small old man whose face is covered in blood. His body is covered in scars. He is heartless, immortal, venerable. He is seriously injured. Qin Yun immediately controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and teleported Heartless Immortal Venerable to the main control room. Boom! After Heartless Immortal Venerable entered the main control room, he saw a huge palm slamming down. On the palm there is a flower-like huge mouth. It looks like the head of a heavenly monster. Fortunately, Qin Yun stopped carving in time, otherwise he would have been affected. Go! Chapter 1793. Changes in metal and stone. Heartless Immortal Venerable's injuries seem to be very serious, but Qin Yun and Yu Yu can sense that an extremely formidable power is hidden within that short and withered body. Senior, are you all right? Qin Yun saw Heartless Immortal Venerable slowly sit up and walked over to ask. Heartless Immortal Venerable looked at Qin Yun and sighed lightly. Then, he shook his head and said, I won't die. Yu Yu asked, Senior, what attacked you just now? Is it also a heavenly monster? It's a heavenly monster. Heartless Immortal Venerable nodded and said, It can be considered the leader of this group of heavenly monsters. It's very powerful and it's even evolved. Qin Yun and Yu Yu both remember that they saw a large hand slapping down. The palm was the large mouth of a heavenly monster that looks like a man-eating flower. Are all heavenly monsters the same? Qin Yun also wants to understand more about heavenly monsters because he might encounter them in the future. Heartless Immortal Venerable fought with heavenly monsters for an entire era, so he must have a very good understanding of them. It's not the same. Heavenly monsters cultivate different Tao, so after they transform into heavenly monsters, their forms are also different. Heartless Immortal Venerable took out a towel to wipe the blood off his body. The wounds on his body are rapidly healing. Heartless Immortal Venerable has a very strong recovery ability, which means that his body is extremely strong. Yu asked, "Those heavenly monsters, were they originally humans? Or beast?" "Human. They were all transformed from humans." Heartless Immortal Venerable sighed with melancholy and said, "The heavenly monsters here are all transformed from disciples of my Heartless Immortal sect." Yu and Qin Yun are both alarmed. The heavenly monsters here are actually disciples of the Heartless Immortal sect. Heartless Immortal Venerable is the sect master of the Heartless Immortal sect, but his disciples have turned into powerful heavenly monsters. "Senior, what's going on?" Qin Yun asked. "I heard that heavenly monsters obtained heavenly Tao power and transformed into them, is that right?" "Yes, they stole heavenly Tao power that doesn't belong to them and were punished." Heartless Immortal Venerable shook his head and said, "Because of a chance, I obtained the power bestowed by the heavenly Tao. As long as I refined that energy, I could directly enter the divine desolate. However, my Heartless Immortal sect's great elder joined hands with a group of inner sect disciples to steal the power bestowed by the heavenly Tao." Yu sighed and said, "The temptation of the heavenly Tao's power is truly great." Emotionless Supremacy looked at Qin Yun and said, "More than half of my Emotionless Immortal sect's disciples were killed by the heavenly monsters transformed from traitors. This heartless city was built by me to attract those heavenly monsters here. I'm atoning for my sins. I'm going to kill all the heavenly monsters here." "Who sealed you here?" asked Qin Yun. "Nine Yang Divine Palace." Emotionless Immortal Venerable said, "Qin Yun, I heard that you have Divine Universe Goldstone." Qin Yun hurriedly nodded and said, "Senior, do you understand Divine Universe Goldstone?" Emotionless Immortal Venerable sneered, "The power bestowed upon me by the heavenly Tao is a Divine Universe Golden Rock." Qin Yun is startled as he looked at Yu. Yu frowned and said, "Senior, what is going on? The Divine Universe Metal Stone was bestowed by the heavenly Tao?" Venerable Heartless said, "My Divine Universe Golden Stone was given by the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Only I can absorb the energy inside. If anyone else were to absorb it, they would be stealing the power of the heavenly Tao." Qin Yun said with a frown, "My Divine Universe Golden Stone shouldn't be from the Nine Yang Divine Palace. It could also be naturally formed, but no matter what, it's a great ominous object." Emotionless Immortal Venerable said, "Little guy, if I were you, I would definitely give up on the Divine Universe Golden Stone. Otherwise, I don't even know what kind of calamity I would suffer." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "I won't give up." Emotionless Immortal Venerable said indifferently, "Up to you. Thank you for saving me. I don't know when I will be able to repay this kindness, but I will engrave it in my heart." "Senior, are you going out?" Qin Yun asked. "I want to continue killing heavenly monsters. There are still more than 900 of them. After so many years, I can only kill more than 100. Emotionless Immortal Venerable laughed at himself. "I don't know how long I will have to kill them, but there's no other way. This is a great disaster that I caused." Qin Yun said, "I thought that Senior was staying here to kill heavenly monsters to complete some mission. I didn't expect it to be for this reason. It can also be considered a special mission for me to make up for my mistakes. Moreover, I am willing to undertake it." Emotionless Immortal Venerable said, "Little guy, let me out." Yu said, "Senior, you should rest a bit more. That guy is so powerful, you shouldn't be able to defeat him." Emotionless Immortal Venerable shook his head and said, "Even if I can't beat him, I still have to fight. This is my destiny." Qin Yun saw how stubborn Emotionless Immortal Venerable is and can only send him out. After Emotionless Immortal Venerable went out, he disappeared without a trace. Qin Yun looked at the dragon rune Heavenly Steel and said, Heavenly monsters were formed because humans absorbed divine universe golden stones? Is it really that evil? He is somewhat worried that there is a problem with his divine universe golden stones. Don't worry about it, the divine universe golden stones are definitely yours. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fallen into your hands all these years. Yu said with a smile and touched Qin Yun's cheek. Continue carving. And Qin Yun nodded and continued carving the dragon transformation totem. What he is carving now is the fire dragon totem, which also corresponds to the fire dragon heavenly steel. The 9 dragon heavenly rune and 9 dragon totem that Qin Yun has mastered correspond to each other. They are respectively fire dragon, water dragon, heavenly dragon, star dragon, moon dragon, sun dragon, azure dragon, purple dragon and white dragon. There are many kinds of dragons. As for why there are 9 kinds of dragons, Qin Yun doesn't know. In short, the dragon heavenly rune and dragon totem he obtained belong to these 9 kinds of dragons. The 2 heavenly rune dragons that Blackrat by Zay found are the fire dragon and the water dragon. Qin Yun doesn't know their attributes. He only found out after studying their dragon heavenly rune. Even Mo finds it very interesting that fire dragon and water dragon can be together. They are supposed to restrain each other. And Qin Yun also discovered that azure dragon, fire dragon and water dragon have a very good relationship. Although they met not long ago, they are able to get along well. Xiao Yun, your father has the fire dragon god's divine position. It seems like he quickly built a good relationship with azure dragon. The relationship between these dragons is very good, so they can get together? Ling Yun'er said. Qin Yun feels that it is very likely. Carving the dragon transformation dragon totem is not very difficult for Qin Yun, it only takes time. This time carving the dragon totem is different from the past. Because he wants the dragon totem to link with the dragon heavenly rune in the center, Qin Yun has to put in even more effort. After carving, he still has to use the Gemini treasure mirror to release the power of the mysterious fusion heavenly rune and let the fire dragon heavenly rune and the fire dragon totem completely fuse together. The fire dragon heavenly steel is finally done. Qin Yun revealed a smile on his face, but he is also somewhat tired. Yu came over and wiped the sweat off his face. Her lily-white hand gently caressed his chest and channeled a formidable immortal emperor power to help Qin Yun recover. It took Qin Yun 3 days to finish carving the fire dragon heavenly steel. He calculated that according to this speed, it will take a month to finish all the heavenly steels. As for whether or not he can make the entire 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation operate, he is still not sure. In order to proceed more smoothly, Qin Yun rested very well. Fortunately, Yu also channeled her immortal emperor power to replenish his energy. Most importantly, Yu has the Nether Moon immortal martial spirit. The mental power she channeled can help Qin Yun's Nether Moon recover. Carving runes requires a large amount of blood spirit power. The pressure on Nether Moon is very great. If not for Yu's help, Qin Yun might need to rest for 2 to 3 days to recover to his peak. And now, he only needs to rest for less than half a day before he can immediately start. Time flew by and a month passed by very quickly. In Qin Yun's main control room, there are 9 3-meter-tall dragon rune heavenly steels. These dragon rune heavenly steels were originally light gold in color, but after carving the dragon totem, they each have their own color. In fact, it is the energy that appeared inside the dragon rune heavenly steel that enveloped the entire heavenly steel. Qin Yun and Yu are standing in the middle of the 9 heavenly steels. They looked at the dragon heads on the heavenly steel and felt as if they are being looked down upon by an ancient dragon. Each of the 9 heavenly steels has a formidable dragon might. If they close their eyes, they can feel the dragon might. It is as if there are 9 powerful dragons with soaring might all around them. Is it a success? This is the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation? Yu Yu is somewhat excited. This is a legendary super great formation. It is said to be born from the heavenly Tao and humans are unable to set it up. I really don't know how to use this 9 dragons heavenly origin formation. Qin Yun said with a smile. I have to ask some knowledgeable people. Who should I ask? Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor? Or Red Sun Dragon Mother? Yu Yu said. Don't ask them for now. Because my 9 dragons heavenly origin formation is not complete yet. Qin Yun thought for a moment and said, I wonder if Yu Qing is nearby. Among the people Qin Yun knows, the ones who understand the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation the most are definitely the immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor and Red Sun Dragon Mother. They were both outside the Tomb City earlier. Don't worry about it. Let's try and see if we can absorb the energy of the Divine Universe Golden Stone through the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. Yu Yu said. Do we need 3 layers of space to release the Divine Universe Golden Stone? Qin Yun looked around and said, the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and Floating Cloud Pagoda are only 2 layers of space. Xiao Yun, this Tomb City should be considered a space. Moreover, the Sun Holy Land can be considered as 1 layer. This is already 4 layers of space. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun is somewhat uncertain. However, he knows that the space inside the Tomb City is isolated from the outside world. Alright, let's give it a try. After Qin Yun took out the Floating Cloud Pagoda, he teleported to the warehouse and handed over the control of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to Yu Yu. He let her control the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to prevent it from being attacked by the heavenly monsters. Qin Yun entered the 3rd floor of the Floating Cloud Pagoda and released the 9 dragons' heavenly steel. He placed it in a circle around the spacious space of the 3rd floor, allowing every heavenly steel to sense each other. He first controlled the 9 dragons' heavenly steel to link together and released energy at the same time. I don't seem to feel anything, Qin Yun said with a frown. I should have activated the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation by now, right? Release the Divine Universe Golden Stone and you'll know. Ling Yuner said, I feel that it's more or less complete. Qin Yun took out the box containing the Divine Universe Golden Stone. The box is on the ground and Qin Yun is unable to move it. After Qin Yun finished his defensive preparations, he opened the lid and the fist-sized Divine Universe Golden Stone floated up. What made him pleasantly surprised is that this time the Divine Universe Golden Stone did not release an intense and dazzling light, so Qin Yun did not feel any burning pain. The 9 faces of the Divine Universe Golden Stone are now releasing different colored energy. The 9 energies are like shining chains, connecting to the dragon heavenly rune in the center of each heavenly steel. Chapter 1794. The Great Array was finally completed. Qin Yun stared at the Divine Universe Golden Rock and felt some fear. Because the energy released by the Divine Universe Golden Rock is very strong, that kind of power seems to be able to destroy heaven and earth. And this was only the weak aura released by the Divine Universe Goldstone. From this, one could see just how strong the energy contained within it was. How do I absorb the Divine Universe Goldstone's energy? Qin Yun looked at the Divine Universe Goldstone that is releasing the 9-colored light belt and wanted to reach out to touch it. However, when he stretched out his hand, he was repelled by a force. I can't touch it? Qin Yun could only pick up the box and cover the Divine Universe Gold Rock. After the floating Divine Universe Golden Rock was covered by the box, it slowly descended. It wasn't as heavy as before. After the Divine Universe Goldstone was covered, the 9 dragons' heavenly steel also returned to its original appearance. Xiao Yun, this box should be specially made to be able to cover the Divine Universe Golden Stone. Ling Yuner said, I feel that the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation has already succeeded. Really? Qin Yun said doubtfully, then why can't I absorb those energies? You haven't used your cultivation method to absorb it yet, have you? Try again. Ling Yun laughed. That's right, I was too nervous just now, so I didn't try. Qin Yun smiled and opened the box again. When the box was opened, the divine universe metallic ores floated in the air. Just like before, the 9 dragons' heavenly steel turned into 9 different colors. Qin Yun sat cross-legged inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin array and closed his eyes. He secretly circulated the 9 Extinction Heart Sutra and attempted to absorb energy to cultivate. Suddenly, he felt his wrist, which was wearing the 9 Sun Divine Soul, violently vibrate. He opened his eyes and saw the 9 Sun Divine Spirit appear on his wrist. 9 different colored lights entered the 9 Sun Divine Spirit's different pearls. Could the 9 Yang Divine Soul be the key to absorbing the Divine Universe Goldstone's energy? Qin Yun said in astonishment. Sister Kiru said that this thing is related to your life as the King of Gods. You already had it back then. Ling Yun'er said, that's possible. The Divine Universe Golden Stone was given to you by the 9 Yang Divine Palace. You can only absorb it through the 9 Yang Divine Spirit. Qin Yun said with a frown, is that really so? Why didn't the God of Space tell me about this? Ling Yun'er said with a smile, he shouldn't know either. Qin Yun looked at his arm. Under his skin, there seemed to be 9 dragons squirming. 9 different colors of light could be seen flickering under his skin. The Divine Universe Goldstone's energy was released through the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation and then entered his body through the 9 Yang Divine Spirit. Xiao Yun, this Divine Universe Golden Stone of yours has 9 sides and they have all been meticulously polished. There are even runes inside, so it must have been specially refined. Ling Yun'er said, this Divine Universe Golden Stone belongs to you. After Qin Yun circulated the 9 Extinction Heart Sutra, he could feel a very berserk energy entering his body. What made him feel at ease is that the Divine Universe Golden Stone's energy did not cause any damage to his body. The 9 Extinction Heart Sutra cultivated the absolute Yang power, and together with the Heaven's Might Tao technique, one could cultivate the 9 Extinction Divine Body. As for the One Thought Imperial Heaven Art, it cultivated mental strength. I wonder if I can open the 6th pearl after breaking through. Qin Yun said, the last few pearls of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit are getting more and more difficult to open. Ling Yun'er said, Xiao Yun, I feel that the last few pearls of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit have never been opened. For example, the little black donkey and the pill transformation heavenly furnace, they are not things that a mortal desolate can have. Could it be that they were placed inside during the Divine Desolate? Qin Yun said with frown. Indeed, the 1st pearl has runes, the 2nd pearl has pill refining, the 3rd pearl has Sister Yao Fang and 9 Extinction Spirit Sealing Needle. The disparity between these things is bigger and bigger, and the little black donkey and the 5th pearl pill transformation heavenly furnace are even more awesome. Ling Yun'er said. Qin Yun carefully thought about it and also felt that the last few pearls would be very difficult to open. Yun tell me, can I let Sister Steamed Bun and others come out and cultivate together? Qin Yun said, I feel that I can cultivate together with them. It might be a bit dangerous. You should first discuss with them and see if they are willing to give it a try or not. It would be bad if they are injured. Ling Yun'er said. Qin Yun wants to find Yu because she is very strong. Even if they encounter other situations, she can deal with them. Long Tianji and Yu are inside the control room. There are also Zi Qingqing, Shui Tianzi, Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul. Qin Yun discussed with them and finally decided to let Zi Qingqing out first. After cultivating together, the energy will increase by a lot. Moreover, the women cultivating with Qin Yun will also benefit. Zi Qingqing was released by Qin Yun. She is wearing a light purple dress, she has a faint, elegant and noble aura. She saw the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation and the divine universe golden stone and became very curious. Her beautiful eyes are filled with purple light. The divine universe golden stone blossomed with 9 colored light. The 9 mighty heavenly steels all around also have a majestic aura, causing Zi Qingqing to be extremely curious. Just as she is lost in thought while looking at the divine universe golden stone, Qin Yun reached out his hand and rubbed her soft and tender jade face. Sister Steamed Bun, there might be danger later. You must react quickly. If anything goes wrong, immediately stop cultivating with me. Qin Yun lovingly rubbed her face and said with smile. I know. Face rubbing crazy devil. Zi Qingqing snorted lightly and then pushed away Qin Yun's hand. Otherwise, who knows how long he would have to rub for. After Zi Qingqing sat down, her jade-like palms tightly pressed against Qin Yun's big palms and lightly shouted, Let's begin! Qin Yun took a deep breath, his expression solemn. He slowly circulated the 9 Extinction Heart Sutra and absorbed a small amount of Divine Universe Golden Stone's energy. And Zi Qingqing also began to circulate the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. Qin Yun does not know the specific mnemonic chant of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra because it is not allowed for men to know. Not long after, Qin Yun felt the power of the Divine Universe Golden Stone enter his body and slowly flow into Zi Qingqing's body. That power entered Zi Qingqing's body, and after circulating the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, it became even stronger and then flowed back into Qin Yun's body. And Zi Qingqing herself frowned and said, That power is very strong. I feel that if I continue cultivating like this, my body will become even stronger. What surprised Qin Yun is that the divine universe power that flowed back into Zi Qingqing's body became extremely strong. Originally, the divine universe power was considered gentle, but because it was abnormally strong, it became very berserk. It expanded the meridians in Qin Yun's body and almost tore them apart. Fortunately, Qin Yun's body was strong enough to withstand it. Great, no problem. Qin Yun said with a smile. Sister Steamed Bun, do you think we can let them come out and give it a try? Zi Qingqing nodded and said with a chuckle. Sure. You can almost attack the immortal Emperor realm. I really didn't expect that we were so weak back then in the Cloud Dragon mountain range, and now we have become so strong. Thinking back to what happened back then, Qin Yun also chuckled and said, Sister Steamed Bun, it's been so many years, and after so many things, we can still be together. It's really not easy. Zi Qingqing smiled sweetly and nodded. Her beautiful eyes flashed with a kind of gentle affection. After Qin Yun stopped cultivating, he gently held her hand and pulled her into his embrace. Zi Qingqing struggled slightly, but in the end, she began to lean into Qin Yun's embrace. Let me hug you, Qin Yun said with a smile and then rubbed her face. Zi Qingqing chuckled and said, You can hug Water Fairy. She wants nothing more than for you to hug her forever. I also want to hug you, Qin Yun said with a smile and then kissed Zi Qingqing's face. Zi Qingqing raised her head and looked at Qin Yun. Her purple eyes flickered with tenderness. Qin Yun can't help but lower his head and kiss her red lip. Both of them very sweetly embraced each other. After a while, Zi Qingqing's jade face turned slightly red and said with a chuckle, Don't tell Water Fairy about this. Why? Qin Yun gently caressed her face. If she knew, she would joke about this matter all day long. Zi Qingqing tenderly groaned and said, She often told you Shaoling before that it was very shameful. Qin Yun is somewhat startled. Shui Tianzi and Yu Shaoling were so affectionate inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul. There is also Yuelon, your wife is much worse than you. Zi Qingqing chuckled and said, This Yuelon, I have to teach her a lesson, Qin Yun said with smile. He kissed Zi Qingqing's face and then released Shui Tianzi, Kong Feiqing and Gong Fian. As soon as Shui Tianzi came out, her beautiful jade-like nose slightly moved. Her charming face is filled with charming smile. This coquettish seductress lightly laughed like silver bells and said, "Io, I smell a kind of affectionate scent." "You are not a fox, don't randomly sniff." Zi Qingqing groaned and said, "Little brother Xiao Yun, are you and sister Steamed Bun talking about love outside?" Shui Tianzi's charming and fragrant body leaned on Qin Yun's body, emitting an intoxicating fragrance. Qin Yun pinched her innately charming face and said with smile, "Sister Tianzi, let's cultivate together. I want to become a formidable immortal emperor. I will rely on you." Kong Feiqing said with smile, "Xiao Yun, big sister can help you become immortal emperor. I am very happy. Let's quickly begin." She is already holding Gong Fian's lily-white hand. Gong Fian's beautiful eyes are filled with excitement as she looked at the Divine Universe Golden Stone. She said with smile, "This is the legendary Divine Universe Golden Stone, it is so big. I will begin." Qin Yun took out the Emperor Essence Heavenly Pill. He won on Immortal King ranking and ate it. The Emperor Essence Heavenly Pill is also very useful. It can coordinate with the Divine Universe Golden Stone's energy and make it even stronger. Moreover, it won't make the Divine Universe power that berserk. Qin Yun's body rushed out with true 9-colored light rays. He only sensed the Divine Universe power violently rushing into his body, cleansing his entire body for a while, and then pouring into the Nether Sun. After the Nether Sun absorbed this kind of energy, it frantically revolved, and the divine tree totem wrapped around the Nether Sun flickered with golden light. Little Heavenly Lion, Little Divine Hammer and Little Dragon that are revolving around the Nether Sun also gradually changed. The details on their surface became even more abundant. Especially that little Divine Hammer, it looks just like the real 9-Sun Divine Hammer. Originally there was only Nether Sun Totem on the surface of the little dragon, but now a Dragon Totem has appeared, moreover it is a 9-Dragon Totem. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.